If you want to turn the channel, go ahead, fool. Turn the channel. If you want to learn something about God, shut your mouth and listen to me for a minute.
Hey, Scotty. Jesus, man. He was a nice kid, but he was one of those kids that was always just, he's a real smart aleck. Was a bright kid, which didn't help things, right? Made him more dangerous.
Many children healed. We've seen midgets grow. We've seen arms and legs that stop growing because the growth cells that stop. Manda basata. I don't make this stuff up.
And we were outside one day, youth group, and he was just trying to push my buttons, and he was just, you know, kind of not taking the Lord serious.
Well, I wrote this song for the Christian youth.
And I walked over to him, and I went, bam! I punched him in the chest as hard as I crumpled the kid. I just crumpled him. And I leaned over and I said, Ben, when are you going to stop playing games with God? I led that man to the Lord right there. There's times that might be needed.
Sometimes I'm ashamed of how the whites draw back and use their intellect and miss the very blessings of God.
Hold this, Kurt. Behold the atheist's nightmare.
Stand with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly in a personal story segment tonight. Today is a National Day of Prayer. It has been endorsed by President Obama, but there are legal challenges all over the place, and that, of course, is dumb.
The banana and the hand are perfectly made one for the other. You'll find the maker of the banana, Almighty God, has made it with a non-slip surface.
When you do that, I can't stand.
I make you feel like what?
When you do that, I can't stand.
Good. Good.
That's the power of the Holy Ghost!
Now, if you go to the top of the banana, you'll find, as with the soda can makers, they placed a tab at the top. So God has placed a tab at the top. When you pull the tab, the contents don't squirt in your face.
See, I get so filled with the Holy Spirit and the Word of God in my heart.
If you're tired of the devil stealing, if you're tired of the devil killing, if you're tired of the devil destroying your life, you must order the personal package, and you got to order it right now.
Notice how gracefully it sits over the human hand. Notice it has a point at the top for ease of entry. It's just the right shape for the human mouth. It's chewy, easy to digest, and it's even curved toward the face to make the whole process so much easier. Seriously, Kurt, the whole of creation testifies to the genius of God's creative.
Why are they taking God out of my history books?
I'm just getting into a prophetic vein.
This comes from Seth. He wants to, can Star Wars figures be demonic?
Can Star Wars figures be demonic? Yes, they can.
Why do they teach every other theory in science except creation?
And the Smurfs can be demonic.
Oh, yes.
If you look at the face of Papa Smurf, you'll see Stalin.
Let me say something about Harry Potter. Warlocks are enemies of God. And I don't care what kind of hero they are. They're an enemy of God. And had it been in the Old Testament, Harry Potter would have been put to death. Amen.
Let us reach our hands out, and in the name of Jesus, we are going the same way, Lord. And right there.
Whoa. Pick it up. What's wrong with her? What's wrong with her? Lupus!
Looking like an African-American person evolved from a white person. We're different skin.
Little children have acne. Why? I can tell you why. What little boys do in the bedroom at night. It's a natural process of the fallen creature, what he does in the bedroom at night. You tie his hands. The Catholics used to tie their hands. Tie the girls' hands. Wouldn't do any good. Tie them all you want. Because it's in their nature. It's a fallen nature, what they do in the bedroom at night. Why does the acne? That's why acne's on these young people's face. That's what they do.
Take that on it!
What, if anything, would ever change your mind? Well, the answer to that question is, I'm a Christian. As Christians, we can say we know. And so, as far as the Word of God is concerned, no. No one's ever going to convince me that that the Word of God is not true. But I do want to make a distinction here.
The Word of God is His sperm.
You know, if you put Jesus Christ first, that He'll look after all your bills.
My crew is big and it keeps getting bigger. That's because Jesus Christ is my nigga.
Take it! Take it! Take it! Take it!
Something happened a long time ago in Haiti, and people may not want to talk about it. They were under the heel of the French. You know, Napoleon III and whatever. And they got together and swore a pact to the devil.
It's not fake, it's faith.
They said, we will serve you if you'll get us free from the French. It's a true story.
We propelled. Birds propel. Eagles don't propel. We said, hooka, 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 hooka.
And so the devil said, okay, it's a deal.
The word offense in the Greek is scandalon, and it refers to the bait of a trap. This is an old Texas rat trap, and I've smashed many a finger on this thing trying to show this message. And when you put the bait on this trigger, that trigger is called the scandalon. That's the offense. And if you reach for the offense to be offended because you are, an animal reaches for it to eat it, but a Christian reaches for the offense because he's hurt.
Pokemon is all based upon Japanese demons.
You better hear this. And that's the reason why he said there was no revelation, widespread revelation. What he was saying, there was no widespread pregnancies taking place because most of the preaching was giving dead sperm, and dead sperm can't impregnate nothing. Take the fresh breath of the Spirit.
How in the world is a dying, lost world ever going to hear the gospel if we don't have some Christians that's got some money in their pockets to propagate it? You say, well, I heard Tilton, you're taking it all. I never touched the money. That's the lies of the devil. I never see it, I never touch it.
All over. Move your.
He's a life changer, miracle arranger, born to the virgin mom in a manger. Water to wine, he's a drink exchanger.
Dad, listen to me. Listen to me. I'm not here because I want to be some big TV star.
What if I want to have sex before I get married?
Well, I guess you just have to be prepared to die.
Why am I called names? Because I believe in marriage the way God designed it.
See, faith's like a boat. You got the oar of faith. That's not enough to have faith. You must have the corresponding actions to go along with it. Otherwise, you just row with one oar and your boat just goes in a circle. Some people have faith, but they don't have any works. Some people have works, but they don't have any faith. You get them both going the same time. Woo, you've got something happening. Let's pray now.
No, I'm saying if you don't know everything, then you can't know anything to be absolutely true.
So if I don't know everything in the world, then I don't know that you exist?
Unless you have revelation from somebody who does know everything. And that somebody that does know everything is God.
So
and young man,
if I don't know, so that means if I don't know everything, that means that I don't know if God exists.
you can't know anything. You can't even, you can't, the argument, and I'm sorry, Max, thanks for trying to get at it. How old are you, buddy?
And what I felt the Lord say is that Christianity is a love story. It is a story of the love of God to man.
I know Jesus has a particular look and a particular face because I've seen it on one occasion.
I can do all things through Christ.
Washington, D.C., you'd think by now they'd get the message. An earthquake, a hurricane. Are you listening? The American people have done everything they possibly can. Now it's time for an act of God, and we're getting it.
I was chosen to be the son of Shiva.
Can you talk?
In the middle of my deliverance, the pastor fainted because I changed from my waist upward into a cobra.
Oh, dear brother, that is the ugliest tie I've ever seen. My goodness. King Kong tie with a jungle on it? You need deliverance from ugly ties, my friend.
I don't know what he was expecting to see.
Wasn't the cobra.
But it wasn't the power that he was faced with that day. I took everything I had to do with the occult and I got rid of it.
Did you burn it?
I put it in my sister's basement.
Oh God, give him a new anointing and a brand new tie. In Jesus' name.
Preach the word, that's my gig, and I rhyme better than Notorious Big.
And if you want to tell me how to live my life, it better line up with the Word of God or shut your mouth.
Those who are involved in martial arts before they start are actually inhaling some demon spirit, and some of them do that, by the way.
Despite modern popular belief, America was founded as a Christian nation.
Is it not the case that the spread of Christianity, about which you spoke so warmly and affectingly in your opening remarks, attributing it to the innate truth of the Bible story, was spread by that means, or because the Emperor Constantine decided to make Christianity the official religion of the Roman Empire? Which, in your view, contributed more to the spread of the faith?
The Holy Spirit.
I rest my case.
Hallelujah. Is causing those powers to be destroyed. And Thelma, God is healing you. Hallelujah.
Donors want to donate guns, and Richard has checked into this, and it's illegal for us to ship guns.
Thank you. God is healing you. Oh, that's it right there. Oh my God.
Those of you that have guns, please do not send them to us. Go to your local dealer. It is against the law, we have checked into it, for us to receive these types of things. So go to your local gun dealer, turn them in, send us the cash.
Oh, I tell you, I love to prophesy.
Some people are stealing the offering bucket. I'm serious. I don't want anybody walking around. Stay in your seat. You steal my offering for this ministry and you'll die.
The Lord is here tonight.
You're touching God's money.
But because I had gone seeking after the occult, seeking after darkness, even though it's just a piece of wood. You think it's just a piece of wood with
just a little Ouija board.
Yeah,
just a little
exactly,
game.
exactly.
They go to church on Sunday and they think they're just doing God a big favor.
I did not want to contact the occult. I did not want to contact the dark side, but I was in the occult at that moment. And I had to suffer the consequences of what I went searching for. And my baby was born deformed.
In public school, people are rude and disrespectful towards Christians.
Now I'ma pass the mic to my lovely wife. She's a fly MC and the light of my life.
I'm loaded. I'm pregnant with miracles.
There's no atheists out picketing against Santa Claus. I mean, think of the psychological damage that's done when those little kids write their letter to the North Pole and Santa doesn't really answer because he's not really there.
Do you know there's people watching me right now that have no respect for me or God or His Word?
And the atheists that are so upset about what religion is doing to young minds, they're not out here protesting Santa Claus. Now, I don't mind you protesting a lot of other religions, but when you protest the truth of Christianity...
Do you believe in evolution?
No.
What do you believe?
That God created the world.
Who told you that?
My parents.
My friend, if you want to protest that and you're not protesting this, you are a hypocrite.
The job of the preacher is to bring fresh sperm.
You know, this guy comes to my house. He's a Satanist from one of the Satanist churches here where they sacrifice babies and melt those babies into candles.
Take it away, Mary Sue.
Jesus Christ is my nigga.
If the theory of evolution was viable, then I should occasionally, by subjecting this to energy, end up having new life.
Elaine, take a deep breath. And receive ye the peace. Ooh, did you feel that, Elaine?
Yes, I did.
I did too.
You need to make a vow of faith of $1,000. Oh, Bob, couldn't you say 25? No!
Take another deep breath and receive the peace.
Oh, your glory.
My friend who is a Christian has a Buddha statue next to her Christian ones. Is that okay?
No, it's not. Take it out and break it. Break it.
Oh, glory.
Ooh, I feel such an anointing, Elaine.
No. Oh, thank you.
As a creationist or believer in creation, the book of Genesis, you know, I would disagree with that. But
what would you disagree with?
With the time.
What we see in our health classes.
Sex education.
All right.
Grade and up.
Ready to go. We're ready to go.
Don't want to be too personal.
We're ready to go.
How do I take a leak if I have to?
You lie, bro. You can be hurt.
To do that.
All right. Hey, I need you to pause it at some point.
Just pause.
All right, cool. So, people, y'all saw how delusional religious people can be. I got a special caller that's gonna call in about a few minutes. Hold on. Do it. Why you gotta do it here? You go in the room. Okay, my wife wants to. We've been having a debate. So my wife says she wants to call into the show. Call into the show. Okay, so call into the show. You call into the show and then hit the access code. Hey, Kweli, this is gonna be interesting as fuck. The woman that lives with me got her sexy ass fucking dress on. Yo, what's up?
The phone's not gonna be open because we on StreamYard. She got to use the StreamYard.
StreamYard. Oh, hold on, baby. Kweli, that means I got to hold on. Let me drop and see. I can share it with her. All right, man. All right, so we clean. Everybody can hear me good?
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear, loud and clear. Peace and black power to my people. Peace and black power to the pastor, the king of atheism, Kweli Kush, man. Thank you for having me on, man. I've been trying to get a lot of... Hey, man, it's been a day. Cause my old lady, she been really wondering why I don't believe in this God. I don't want to yell because she in the same house, so hopefully y'all don't hear no echo. So I'm trying to get her to call in because she been asking me a lot of questions. And
is that Alasia? Alasia?
Yeah, it's Alasia. Yeah. Tell her come on.
She in the back panel right now.
All right, yeah, bring on.
Peace and black power, sister. You are live.
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's get into this whole discussion. Because I'm always listening to my boyfriend always talk about God and how he doesn't believe. And, you know, I really don't understand why he feels that way and why he believes the way he believes. But I do know that there's a lot of people out there who feel the exact same way. You know, and I'm sure that a lot of people feel that way for good reason or for reasons that they really don't understand. But, you know, what I've been trying to explain to Gerard is, you know, it doesn't matter your background, where you come from, or what you believe. I really believe that God does exist, and I do believe that God loves you no matter who you are, what your beliefs are. You know, the same thing like with homosexuality or lesbianism. Yeah, you know, those acts may be wrong and sinful, but I still believe that God loves the person. But I know that a lot of times Christians have the habit of, you know, whenever they're with someone who maybe like believes differently from they do, they're quick to shut that person out. And I don't feel that that's like the godly way to do things. And people look at that, they see that as an example, and that will make them back away. I think they do that because they have religion, stuck in their minds. Like if you just step aside from religion and just try to do what's right, what's morally right, like as a human being, and have some empathy and try to understand why people feel the way they feel and why they think the way they think, there's always a reason why. But it's not good to judge anybody.
But I think I can shine some light on why. I call him Kwame. I know you call him by his real name, but why Kwame and I don't believe. And let me just, in order to answer that question for you, I'm gonna ask you a question. So first, do you believe in the tooth fairy?
No.
Okay. Why not?
Because I know that the tooth fairy is not real. I know the tooth fairy is an imaginary person.
How do you know that?
Well, I mean, when I lost teeth as a child, I never had a tooth fairy come in the room and take teeth from under my pillow, even if I stayed awake all night.
Okay.
And if my teeth did disappear, I knew it was my parents that took it. Come to find out years later, they showed me the same teeth as evidence.
Now, in the same logic, you see how you laugh when I ask you, did you believe in the tooth fairy? That's exactly how I feel when people ask me, do I believe in God? For the same exact reasons you don't believe in the tooth fairy. Because when I pray, ain't no God came and answered my prayers. Ain't no God showed me how to create something. Every time I've seen somebody be born, they came out of a woman's vagina. I ain't never seen no God created or no woman come out of a man's rib. That's all fairy tale. But what I did see is people being birthed through sexual intercourse. And I saw the evidence of evolution and the natural selection being the means of how species go from simple to more complex. What I don't see is evidence of a God. So for the same reasons you don't have evidence of a tooth fairy, so you don't believe, and it's trivial to you so much to the point where you will laugh in the face of somebody who asks you if it's real. That's how I feel when people say, do you believe in God? I kind of chuckle and go, nah, why would I do that? Because it's imaginary as the tooth fairy is to you, or Santa Claus. That's how imaginary God is to me. And I'm sure Kwame probably.
And me too. And I told her that. I said, babe, so you really give credit. Hold on, babe. So when you give credit to a God, for us in our meeting, we met, and you know what? I think it's gonna be kind of embarrassing, but fuck it. We met on a dating site. I ain't gonna even lie. It wasn't God.
Nowadays.
Exactly, like, bruh, like, babe, we met on a dating site. You mean to tell me God created Hinge? That's what we talked. That's why I said, babe, go in the room, man. Call into the show. You know what I'm saying? I said, babe, we did not meet because of God. We met because of Hinge. It wasn't God, man.
I'm not saying that God created Hinge, but I do believe that God blessed us to cross paths in life. I think that maybe we've both gone through things in life that made us want to, go to Hinge and, search for love or find someone that we connect with. So I'm not saying that God created Hinge. We both made a conscious decision to go on that dating app and look through profiles, and we came across each other. But what I'm saying is, all of the events in our lives, lined up over time, how things just naturally happen or fell in place, and we got to where we are right now today. That's what I'm saying. And as far as, praying to God and, your, I guess, wishes or what you prayed for and not coming true, I think a lot of times when people pray, they always expect things to go their way. And they feel like if they don't get what they wanted or what they asked for, then God isn't real or he's not working in that person's favor. But things are not going to always go your way. So I think the way prayer works is to always say, well, God, let your will be done, because what you may see with your physical eyes as something that's beneficial to you, you have to keep in mind that God is God and he sees what we don't see. He knows what we don't know.
With all due respect, I must ask, what's the point of praying at all? If that's the case, if God gonna do whatever he want to do in the end, and I can't see the big picture, I might as well just be born and say, God, do whatever's best for me, and then shut up at that point, because God's gonna do whatever's best for me, whether I like it or not, whether I pray or not. It just seemed like you just made prayer null and void if God's just gonna do whatever he want to do. But I don't agree with the notion of prayer anyway. What I was really saying was I didn't physically see anything that I could call a God answering my prayers, whether I had something that I prayed for that I actually got it or didn't get it. God wasn't the one who gave it to me. If I prayed for a new bike, my mama or my daddy bought me a new bike, not God. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that from a logical standpoint, but, you know, what I continue to tell Gerard is, you know, I'm going to tell you the same thing. You know,
Call me Kwame, baby. Baby, name's Kwame. Kwame.
Kwame.
It's the stage name, yeah. We on stage.
Yeah, we on stage. You gotta call me Kwame, baby.
Okay. What I've kept trying to explain to Kwame is that, you know, and it just keeps going over his head, like he just does not want to believe that God is spirit. So, I mean, I guess maybe.
Is it going over his head, or is what he's saying going over your head?
Okay.
Because I don't believe in the spirit. I don't even know what it is. What is a spirit?
If you look at it from both ways, it looks like what we're both saying is going over both of our heads. But my thing is that I do believe that God is real. And to answer your question, what God is or what I think God is, I believe that God is spirit. And I keep explaining to Kwame that you cannot understand the things of the spirit with the physical or carnal mind. It will never, ever make sense to you or anybody else.
How does it make sense to you, babe? Babe, how does it make sense to you, though? Because you believe it and because I don't?
It makes sense to me because I have seen supernatural things happen in my life.
Like
you know,
what?
I know how God worked things out for me when I know it really should have had a different outcome.
Babe, like what? What happened? What did you see?
So there's a number of things that I could deal with, but, you know, let's start with this. Just like as far as my career, you know, in the medical field, my very first job was at a cardiology clinic in the medical field. And there was nothing whatsoever that qualified me for that job. I mean, I would just cry and pray about it.
Did you qualify yourself? Was you qualified already? Did you take the training and stuff?
No.
Babe, babe, listen, I'm gonna let you know now. Because for clarity, as atheists, as us, me and Kweli, we're atheists. We need clarification because you said nothing qualified you, but you got the job anyway. So you had to have some kind of qualifications to get there. It wasn't God that zapped this knowledge of being a nurse or, you know, dental assistant or podiatrist. That happened because you actually had training. Now, if they was just desperate and say, hey, we need somebody in the damn lobby to take calls and do this shit, that's because they wanted to. If you had no training. But you got to understand, babe, like if they didn't need anybody, you wouldn't have got the job, regardless of what this God in the sky would have done it, because that mean that violated free will. Because if God made them hire you and they didn't want to hire you, then who free will was violated? Was it your free will to get the job, or was it their free will not to hire you? Who free will was violated?
I mean, yes, I do understand that. I mean, of course, they had to be in need, you know, to have somebody on staff in order for them to hire me. So that really is the reason why. It's because they actually needed people to work. But at the same time, anyone who has ever like really worked in the medical field, I don't know if anyone is listening who has actually applied for jobs in the medical field, one of the things that you'll always see is experience required, like maybe 1 year, 2 or 3 years required. That's usually the case most of the time. They want you to have experience prior. And yeah, even though I've had jobs in the past, but just jobs relating to the position applied for in the medical field, I did not. Yes, I graduated from high school. Yes, I attended some college, but I did not have the necessary skills for that position. But I stayed before God and I prayed constantly. And every interview that I went to, I got a lot of no's. I got turned away many, many times. But I've learned that, everybody has a path that they're on, and it's up to God to open those doors. Now,
babe, when I in 2005, I was in the military or whatever. I didn't have any recollection about security, armed security, or being a police officer, because that was not my job in the Army. But I still got a security job. That had nothing to do with it, babe, because I didn't have no experience in being security. Even though I was in the military, it can kind of seem like security, but I was over in Iraq, so fucking fighting the insurgents and all these other motherfuckers because they said they God was the best.
Can I ask you a question right quick?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Because you said that God helped you get the job, but you didn't. When you explained it, you didn't mention you physically seeing God. Or I know you say that God is the spirit or whatever, but I want to ask you, what's the difference between you giving credit to God for giving you the job and a child giving credit to the tooth fairy for giving them $1 or for their tooth? Because they have the same amount of evidence as you do for God. You got something, just like a kid gets something for their tooth. But who actually is the person providing? Is it a God or is it a human being? Because you give credit to a God, a child gives credit to the tooth fairy, yet they never seen the tooth fairy, and yet you never seen your God. Or maybe I'm missing something. What's the difference?
You know, I guess maybe I'm just thinking to myself, you know, are you guys having a hard time believing in God because you feel like you can't see God, you can't hear him, he's just an invisible being? And, you know, to be honest with you, that's exactly what God is. I mean, you know,
It's not that it's not the fact that you can't sense him with your five senses. I mean, that's pretty damning for the creator of all things that's invisible and undetectable. But the furthest extent of it is just the lack of evidence. So the things that God has claimed to be responsible for, we don't see those things happening. Like, God is supposed to be good, but yet the world is bad. And you know, all these different religions, if there's a God handing down revelations, don't you think you would have got one? I would have got one. We all would be on the same page, but we're not even in the same book, let alone on the same page. And the people that are on the same book, they don't agree on shit. There's 30,000 different sects of Christianity. So you can be in the same religion and still disagree with somebody. Oh, I'm a Baptist. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. I'm a Episcopalian. I'm a Methodist, but they all Christian. So if y'all don't agree on it, then how can people on the outside looking in never come to say, okay, that's the truth? Y'all don't even know what the truth is, but this the lack of evidence where you expect evidence to be. If somebody tells me they got a dragon in their garage that grants wishes, and I show up at their house and I don't see the dragon, and I say, where's the dragon? And they say, oh, it's invisible. It's immaterial. You can't see it. You can't feel it, but it's here. Just ask it to grant you a wish. And then I ask it, and then I don't get what I asked. And they say, well, you don't understand how the dragon works. See, the dragon not just going to give you what you ask for. It's going to work how it want to work. And you just got to kind of follow suit. Maybe you're not ready for what you're asking for. All these rationalizations and excuses, the same type of thing I hear about God. I'm going to start to believe that you're bullshitting about this green dragon, because I can't see it. It's not doing what you say it's supposed to do. And you got a different excuse every time I ask you why it's not working. Like if I put that with a tooth fairy or Santa Claus or a green dragon, it's real easy to say, I don't believe that. But when it comes to God, people have a hard time saying, you know, that's not real. But it's not, you know what I'm saying, anybody's fault, because this is designed. They do this from when you were a child. It's called indoctrination. They force you and brainwash you into believing in these religions. That's why it's no coincidence that the people that grow up in certain countries tend to have the same religion, because the culture is giving them their religion. But I feel like I'm rambling on.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm listening to you. And you know what? Sadly, majority or really a lot of what you're saying really is true. I totally agree with that. And you know what? Like I told Kwame, I really don't believe that all of the Bible is the truth. And, you know, some people may say, what? You know, you're saying you believe in God, but yet you don't believe that the Bible is true. And the reason why I say that is because, yes, you know, I believe in God, and I believe that God does not lie. I believe that God's word is real. But what I'm saying is the reason why I don't totally believe in the Bible is because it has been tampered with. You know, there are things that have been added in and taken out, and the Bible has been distorted. So we really don't know. I do think that it's very sad that you have many different, you know, sects of Christianity, you know, Episcopalian, Lutheran, Baptist, that really shouldn't be, you know. So even with Christianity, it's so divided, let alone all of the other religions out there. So sadly, you know, I feel like there's just so much that we really don't know and understand. So as for the Bible, I really can't even speak on that, because I know that, you know, even the original, like Dead Sea Scrolls, like there is no original Bible. You know, there is no original Bible. So how do we really know what's what? I really can't even speak on that, because that's something that man has done. And it's very sad that man has done that. And so many people are confused, including myself. Like, I have a lot of questions myself, but I do believe in a higher power. I do believe that there is a God. I do believe that God is, you know, you can't see God. God is unseen. And that's the whole point of faith. You know,
Well, let me give you a little insight, because you know when you first of all, who told you that a God exists? That's the main question. Like, when did you first hear about God? 'Cause I know God didn't just come down and zap himself into your head and say, I'm real. Where did you first hear about a God? And be honest.
Well, actually, I'm a pastor's daughter, and so I grew up in church. You know, I was raised in church, so these were things that I've seen.
So you really didn't have a choice.
No, I did not. You know, and that's, you know, as a side note, that's also something that I want to talk about. You know, with Christianity, they force their children to go to school and not go to school, I'm sorry, to go to church constantly, and kids do not like that. Like, as a kid, you don't really understand what's going on. All you know is that you're being told to do something, you're being forced to go, you know, and listen to something that you don't fully even understand. So, you know, as you get older, you start to hate it. You don't want to go there anymore, you know, but parents will say, well, in the Bible, it says, raise up a child in the way that they should go. And, you know, that's all fine and dandy. But at the same time, it's like, if you're being told to do something, but you don't really understand why, and you're constantly being forced to do that thing, you're just not going to want to do. It's going to make you rebel. And I really wish parents would stop doing that to kids. Like, just tell them, you know, maybe what the Bible says or whatever, and just leave it up to them. But as a kid, you know, they don't really know enough to make these decisions. But I do think it's wrong. You know, all those years, yeah, I was forced to go to church, and even more so because my dad was a pastor. So I really had to be there, you know, because everybody, the whole congregation is looking at the pastor and his family as an example.
Facts.
You know, but going back to, you know, my dad being a pastor and me having to always go to church, I've seen my dad cast out demons. I really have, and it's not a pretty sight. You know, there's no way that you can fake some of the things that I've seen. You know, like I was explaining to Kwame, like one instance, there was this lady. You know, there was a person on the right side and on the left side, full-grown adults. This lady's eyes rolled all the way in the back of her head, where you saw nothing but the white part of her eyes, and her hair stood up straight on top of her head like she was upside down. She grabbed the person on the right side and on the left, just stretched her arms out like in a T shape, and just lifted them up at the same time, simultaneously, like they were leaves. At this
Can
point,
I recommend something for you and anybody listening? It's a man by the name of Darren Brown. He's shining light on a lot of illusions, I should say, but not just illusions. A lot of, they call it mentalism. So stuff like hypnotism and things like what you're talking about, where you will look at something, you go, "There's no way this is fake," and then they'll show you how they faked it, and you be like, "Oh my God." But they don't show that stuff in America. You got to look it up on the internet. His name is Darren Brown. He's a European guy.
Yeah, and it's another guy too that actually can prove that. Like, he basically debunked Bob Larson. What is that guy? He's an Indian guy. He basically was showing that how they be faking, like one guy has one leg shorter than the other, and then like it automatically straightens out. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of illusions. What's that Indian guy name?
I don't know his name, but some of these tricks, or some of them are even, you can go as far as to call them scams, like the leg growing, that's a scam. But they go back thousands of years. People have been doing these things, and I guess it's like it's the old form of magic. So you know, magic is not real. I hope you know that magic is not real. They just do these tricks, these illusions, to make it look like they're, you know, performing these impossible feats or whatever. But the same way magic works is the same way these magical preachers who claim to heal people work. And you can look up Peter Popoff. He got exposed by James Randi, who recently passed away. But James Randi found out that they were giving people prayer cards when they came into church and saying, "Write out this prayer card" or whatever. And then his wife would be in the back with a headset on, and he got an earpiece in. And then, so he looked like he a psychic, because he knowing what everybody need and what everybody want and where they live and what they first name and last name. But that's because his wife is feeding him all this information with a radio earpiece. And then so James Randi pulled up, and he got the same frequency of scanner. He recorded it while it was going on and exposed him and all that. And guess what? 10 years later or 20 years later, Peter Popoff is back at it doing the same exact thing, and everybody act like they forgot that he got caught faking. You know what I'm saying? But that's the power of indoctrination. But I ain't trying to say that your father is a scam artist, because some of these people, that's why I say look up Darren Brown. Some people actually believe that they have these abilities themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like everybody's willingly, oh, I'm a scam artist. You know what I'm saying? Some of these people have deluded themselves into thinking that they're psychic, or thinking that they can do whatever they can do. You know what I mean? The only thing that I'm not sure about that's not real or not is that hypnotism stuff. I'm not really sure about that. But all the rest of that stuff, the psychic and talking to the dead and all that, I'm 99.999% sure that that's bullshit. And it's all a scam, or people that have confused themselves into thinking that they can do some shit that they can't do. Man, they make plenty money doing it. Don't get confused. Like, I ain't even gotta ask you if your daddy got money. Like, they make plenty money.
Well, you know, I grew up around my dad, and I am pretty sure that he never worked magic a day in his life. I never saw him practice or rehearse that. He was always reading the word. I remember many times he would lay in sackcloth and ashes. He was always praying. He was always reading. And to be honest with you, he was very sharp spiritually. You know, he would get up in front of the congregation, he would preach, and he would call people out and start telling them things that no one knew. Like, this first time meeting this person, but he seemed to know things that they were going through, things that would happen. I've literally witnessed these things.
It's called cold reading. So it's a skill that can be learned, just like any other skill can be learned. So basically, if I'm looking at a crowd of, let's say, mostly elderly African-American women, and I say, somebody in here is suffering from high blood pressure, and somebody in here is suffering because they don't want to give you your Social Security money, but I'm here to let you know that Social Security problem, if you're going through this, I'm talking to you. And the chances, like, depending on the size of the crowd and the demographic, the chances of somebody being in the crowd who fits that is like almost 100%. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know what you're saying, and yes, you are right. Like, there are a lot of pastors who do that, but no, I'm talking about there are some pastors, including my dad, where he would get more personal. It wasn't generalization. He would literally call this person out and tell them literally things that's literally going on. Like, okay, you know, you're in a relationship with someone who is abusive. You know, or like
but see, babe, I don't mean to cut you off. I don't mean to cut you off, sweetheart. But that's a common thing, though. So this is a thing. Like he was talking about, it was generally what Kweli was talking about. That was cold reading, but this is called generalization. So your dad probably was like, "Hey, you going through something." Maybe because of the expression on her face. See, we cannot continue to attribute this thing to some kind of supernatural ability that people think that they have. And see, and a lot of people that are in Christianity don't realize that that's called witchcraft. A lot of people in Christianity want to call Africans doing witchcraft as bad, but when you look at Christianity and God beliefs, it's the same shit. Cause I can put like, man, Kweli, like, he going through something, man. Like he does drugs and heroin and shit. And I could be right or I could be wrong, but if I guess right, then that's gonna make it look like I basically guessed something right.
No. See,
it's gonna look like that.
What you're failing to realize. But
hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. See, that's what I'm saying. You see, I'm gonna deal with that too. So you're saying because it's a more personal, how you know your dad didn't previously know them? Because you're not around your dad all the time. Your dad is always at the church, and he might, you know what I'm saying, have people come into his office and say, "Hey, I need to talk to you, Pastor, blah blah blah," and he probably could use that. That's called storm chasing. It's called storm chasing. Like, a pastor would do that even if they don't know that much about your life. They will basically try to project as if they don't know you, but they're like Kweli said, that they would say, well, somebody in here going through high blood pressure or an abusive relationship, ain't got no money, living under a bridge, and that shit can fall on anybody. That's like when the raindrops fall, it might fall on you if you're not, covered. So basically, that's what people do. You can't just say, oh, it's supernatural. If that's the case, then healing the sick shouldn't be no problem. Going into Cook's hospital should not be no problem. If your parent or any preacher has that type of ability, going into these hospitals should not be a problem.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that pastors know everything or see everything, because a lot of them don't. A lot of them really don't have that connection no relationship. So I'm not saying that at all. And I'm not saying my dad was perfect, because he was really far from it. But my point is that I know, even relating to myself, my dad has told me some things that I know I did not tell him. You know, I know I didn't, but he called me and he said I was in prayer. And this is what God has been dealing with me about. And I know I didn't say anything to him about that, where he was literally able to tell me what I was going through and what I was doing in that whole situation. I kid you not. And on more than one occasion, I'm telling you, like, my dad, I don't understand. You know, what's so crazy about it is, you know, as humans, we have flaws. You know, we always fall short. Like, we're not perfect, you know. But I do know in the Bible that it says gift and calling come without repentance. So just because you may fall short or have flaws, that doesn't mean that you don't have that ability to see and that God won't use you. But, you know, I'm serious. When it comes to like things that I know for a fact, I did not have these conversations with my dad, because I always felt like he was just judging me or being judgmental, or he didn't know and he just wanted to control me. So a lot of things I would keep to myself. But many times he would call me and he would say, I was in prayer and this is what God has been showing me. And I'd be darned if it was not on point.
But how do you know God showed him that instead of he just going off your behavior? It could be just like a behavioral thing. If he known you, it's your dad.
Or you could just say like,
No. It wasn't my behavior because he wasn't around. We live in separate homes. He lived like in another town. I wouldn't see him for months at a time, so he couldn't go by my behavior.
well, all right. When you get to a point where you don't know the explanation for something, so you got a event that happened. Your dad gave you some information, and you don't know how he could possibly know this. The logical thing to do is to stay right there at I don't know. You don't go to the supernatural, or it must be he got it from God, because you don't have evidence for that. If that's a possibility, it's a possibility. But until you have evidence, actual evidence for it, you shouldn't be believing it. And that's what any claim really, not just.
Let me ask you a question, babe. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, boo. Do you believe that I'm faithful? Or do you know that I'm faithful?
I know that you're faithful.
How do you know that?
Okay, I see what.
Because she knows what she'll do to you if I'm just playing.
that too. But I already know where this is going. You know. And I was going to say, the reason I know you're faithful is, you know, based on what I see you do. So it's like I have evidence based on what I see you do. And I know, like, since I said that, it's like, okay, when you say that, where's your evidence that God is real? Right?
Yeah, because see, that's some things. So you see, knowledge is more accepted than belief. See, belief infers doubt. When you say, I just believe something is true, then you're inferring doubt. So, and then what you tell me before you went into the room, you said, well, I'm going to heaven. You told me that. Why did you tell me you was going to heaven? How do you know that?
Well, to be honest with you, no one really knows where they're going. Like, we can only hope. I hope.
But you just told me you was going to heaven, babe.
I really hope to go to heaven. But you know what? This is what I really believe is real. You know, like I said, I believe God is real, and I believe God loves us all, and I believe that God wants us to go to heaven. Like, hell was not made for people, was not made for man. God does not want us to go there. But I do believe that through our actions, we make a
Why did God create it, babe? Babe, why did this God create hell and the mechanism to where we're basically determined whether we go there or not just because we simply believe or don't believe? So why did this God do that?
Well, I think, you know, we put ourselves there based on the things that we do, like based on our actions. Like, ultimately, we cast the final vote as to where we go. Secondly, But if God is the author of life, then do we really have a choice whether we go to heaven or hell? Because if God already knows what we're going to do before we did it, and we do it, and then if you read Ephesians 1:11,
You know, it said we were predestined to do God's will. So if it's God's will for us to be fuck ups or atheists, you know what I'm saying? Which atheists, we're not fuck ups. But if it's God's will for us to do some killing or do some other shit that's horrible, but us atheists, like, we can like help out the sick and feed the homeless, but we still go to hell just because we don't believe. So what is God more concerned with? What we believe or what we do? What is he more concerned with? Is God more concerned with deeds or beliefs?
Well, I would say deeds, because that's what really counts. But at the same time, what you do stems from what you believe. In order for you to act on something, you first have to conceive it in your mind. It's a thought first. Then you process, and then it becomes action. So it starts with what you believe. It starts with your thoughts.
So me and Kweli can make $1 million on our YouTube, and we decide to donate to a homeless shelter, but we still remain atheists. And are we still going to hell?
I really don't think that it works that way.
You just implied that it does, babe. Babe, you just implied that it does. Really do.
What, that just because you gamble, you go to hell?
I mean, everything should be. I mean, according to Christianity, everything is equal to gambling. Murder is equal to gambling. Stealing is equal to gambling. Child rape is equal to gambling. I mean, I've heard Christians argue that before. Like, if you rape a child, if a child steals a piece of bubble gum, he gets raped in the other. He's the same as the guy that rapes him at the end of the day. So everything's equal.
From what I heard my dad say, he would always say that there's a difference between sin and an abomination. Like, if you steal or kill somebody or whatever, all of those are sins, or tell a lie, all of those are equal sins. But the difference with an abomination, that's something akin to like homosexuality or like lesbian.
Okay. So babe, so what if God made them a homosexual? Do you think homosexuality is a choice or something that you feel like Well, so God make them a homosexual. God's still gonna punish them for being gay.
So God's the chef that bakes the cake, and the cake tastes nasty, and then he blames the kids and say, "Look what y'all made me do. Get out of my house. Y'all go to the basement. I'm gonna burn y'all because I got this shitty cake." But you made the cake.
Well, I think that, when people become lesbians or homosexuals, sometimes it's by choice. And sometimes I do think that, because I've seen even like little kids who start to show traits of, being a lesbian or being a homosexual, from a very young age, So.
But is that a choice or is that conditioned in the upbringing? Because I've seen kids that I would swear was the resurrection of Tupac, because they were so cold, hard, and gangster, but at 3-4 years old, the only like you form your kid like kids are like, clay little molds. You can make them into whatever you want. You know what I mean? So I don't think a lesbian kid or a gay kid. First of all, I don't know a kid that's thinking about sex at all. You show me one kid that's thinking about sex. I don't know one. But so if a kid is showing like feminine, if a male kid is showing feminine traits or a female kid is showing male traits, that's because of their surrounding, their environment. It's probably the male is being raised by a group of females, his mom, his auntie, and his sister, and there's no male role model. So he act like what he see, and vice versa with the females. I don't think it's a choice, like per se. That's just my opinion, though. But we got another person that I want to bring in. Hopefully, it's not a troll.
No, I ain't a troll. Not a troll. What's going on?
What's your name? Where you calling from?
John, calling from Tennessee.
All right, what you believe in and why, sir?
I'm a theist, and believe in theism overall because of the.
Can you be more specific? Like you got a religion?
Well, I'm an ultimate Christian, but I'm theist first, based on going down the proverbial rabbit holes of what is the evidence, what's the logical, plausible, and probable conclusion based on the things that can be analyzed and ultimately rationalized to either be for or against the necessity of a higher power existing.
All right, so let's talk about it. What's the evidence?
Oh, I mean, there's a variety of fronts. I mean, I think the one for me that's the most significant, my background's in technology, and you go down the proverbial rabbit hole into what is necessary for life to exist. You run into multiplexed coding, logic gates, time-based variables, nanotechnology, and things that are so vastly superior to the most advanced human technology. You either have to convince yourself that somehow those things can come into existence without the preceding actions of an intelligent agent, or that it's the extremely logical and plausible conclusion that the intelligent agent was necessary.
How do you become intelligent?
Sorry?
How do you become intelligent?
How do I become intelligent? That's not.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm asking. How is intelligence developed? Like, how do you become intelligent?
Well, that wasn't the point that was being made. I was talking about the recognized necessities for the different things that are necessary for you to exist.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, how is intelligence developed? That's what I'm asking.
I'm not really following you, man. Are you talking about?
Okay, so
hang on, bro. Hang on. Are you suggesting in the context of like computation ability, foresight, foreknowledge? Like, what do you the ability to create new concepts? I'm not really sure what you're referring to there.
When you keep saying that there's an intelligent agent, how do you become intelligent? How does anybody become intelligent?
Okay, bro, hang on. Intelligent agent means something that would be required for something to exist. So, for example, do you think that it is remotely plausible that the couch that you're currently laying back on, or the Hinge app that you met old girl, and hey, babe, I don't know why you're dating this atheist, this dude, man. Like, you want to, try something else, that's cool too. But the point is, do you think that any of those things could ever exist without an intelligent agent, in this context, a human, being required to form all those things, all the logic rules that are required for you to be able to either lay on the couch that's created or have this conversation with me right now?
All right. So basically, what you just tried to do was define intelligent agent as the cause for anything. So basically, you cheated. You know what I'm saying? I could do that. I could say God is a fictional character, therefore he doesn't exist, because I just defined God as a fictional character.
No, bro. You're completely missing it. And by the way, sidebar, please stop using the new atheist, lacktheist definition of atheism. It is a rejection of. It is not without. It is not.
All right, bro. Hold on. Before you you know what I'm saying, go from 0 to 100, because you already made one strike when you said something about the brother. He let that shit slide.
I'm not getting
Yes, you are. You are getting emotional.
Hold on. Because what you can't do is tell some atheists how to describe themselves. That's like going to a gang and telling them, y'all ain't really Bloods, man. Y'all be a real Blood. It's just like, how you gonna tell the Bloods what they are?
Well, hang on then. Let me address that real quick. So, the other night I was listening to you, and you specifically tried to define atheism in the context of the
I didn't try to. I did.
Hey,
First of all, hold on.
Hey, hang on. You want to let me counter you, or you want to keep talking?
No, I don't gotta let you counter me because I'm gonna explain to you why your point is weak.
Can I read from the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy?
What's the point?
I mean, if you let me read it.
All right, check this out, dude. You're gonna read from the Encyclopedia of Philosophy, and then I'm gonna read from Webster's Dictionary. So it just depends on whose definition you want to take. That's why I don't want you to read that definition, because it don't matter. Like Kwame say all the time, words don't have definitions; they have usages. So it don't matter what your book says. I guess if you can counter me, then go ahead and counter me, but let people make arguments. It don't matter what your definition is. It matters how I'm saying
and for the record,
time out.
I would say for the record, white boy, my girl don't like white dudes. So I heard what you say on the slide sheet.
Hold on, bro. I muted you for a reason, dog. I'm trying to explain something. It's people listening. They can't hear both of us at the same time, and nobody's going to hear. Like, it's pointless. So the reason why the definition thing is mute is because words don't have real definition. They have usages, and usages change over time. So I could say the word fuck, For example, am I talking about having sex, or am I just making an exclamation because I stumped my toe? Either one is a correct usage. It depends on how I choose to use it. So if I say I'm an atheist, you have to then ask me, what do I mean by that? And if I say I mean I jump rope, that's what the fuck I mean. You can't tell me I'm wrong for using the word the way I choose to use it if I clarify what I mean by that and I'm consistent every time I use it. Now go ahead and answer.
So am I understanding you correctly that in any other context, just because you decide to change the definition of a word, that means you're not the dumb fuck?
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So are you suggesting that logic rules and principles of philosophy don't actually apply to you? Is that your position?
No, did I say that?
Well, I mean, that's the end result of the argument you just made, bro.
No, it's not.
Okay, so the A in atheism must be understood as negation instead of absence, as not instead of without. Therefore, in philosophy,
it is without.
Atheism should be construed as not instead of without. Therefore, in philosophy at least, atheism should be construed as the proposition that God does not exist, or more broadly, the proposition that there are no gods. This definition has the added virtue of making.
What is asymptomatic? What is asymptomatic? What is asymptomatic?
Okay, bro. There's two. Okay, the A can be
no.
Answer the question.
What is asymptomatic?
Okay,
when a doctor says you're asymptomatic, that means what?
You're not showing symptoms.
No, I'm without symptoms. You're without symptoms. Atheism. You got theos.
So you too dumb.
No, I'm without a God. I'm without the belief in a God.
Okay.
So if asymptomatic is the same as atheism, or it has the same suffix or prefix.
Dude, you know what a proposition is?
What a proposition had to do with it? No, I'm just saying. Okay, what is asymptomatic? And be honest.
So you don't know,
dishonest.
So you don't know a damn thing about philosophy, obviously. Okay.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because that's why I'm asking you what does asymptomatic means.
So are you telling me that the PhD
are you telling me
who are breaking this down for dumbasses like you? You're telling me
I'm a dumbass. Oh, so we dealing with the ad hominem. Not one time have I talked anything about you, said anything about you, but you're a brainwashed, delusional Christian dummy that can't control his fucking emotions.
Okay, hang on, bro. So,
I asked you, what does asymptomatic mean? You didn't even give me an answer. What is asymptomatic? What was it?
It means without symptoms.
Exactly. So atheism is the same fucking thing.
Dude, did you listen to a thing I said?
No.
In atheism must be understood as negation instead of absence, as not instead of without. Therefore, in philosophy at least, atheism should be construed as the proposition that God does not.
You said should be? Should be?
Okay, dude, this is literally.
No, I'm just saying should be
on the topic.
Okay, so you're a white man. So since you want to go there, you're a white man that's encouraging black people to believe in your white God. Right?
No, actually,
what color is God? What color is God?
Race, bro.
What color is God? No, what color is God?
Okay.
If God is black, why do you believe in a black God?
So
God is black.
God has no color. We are not.
Oh, so he has no color. Does he have a meat suit? Does he have a body? A physical body?
Let's go back to intelligent agency. So let's go back down to the difference between you and I.
Okay, no. We haven't even touched the surface, sir. We haven't even touched the surface on what is intelligence. What is intelligence, and how do you become intelligent? You haven't even told me that yet.
Dude, I didn't talk about intelligence. I talked about intelligent agency.
No, we're talking about we're talking about the word intelligent, not intelligent agencies. We're talking about intelligence. How do you become, dude? You said your background, you have a background or whatever. So how do you become intelligent? How did you become intelligent in that field? What did you have to do to become intelligent?
Okay, that's knowledge, not intelligence. Intelligence is capacity to learn and to compute.
So you're not intelligent. So you're not intelligent. So basically, you're saying you're not intelligent.
What the dude? Are you an idiot? Did you hear?
No, I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question, bro. How do you become intelligent?
No. Oh my God. Okay, so there's.
I asked you a question. How do you become intelligent?
Are you listening? Dude, are you actually listening?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, white boy. Go ahead, white boy. Go ahead. You call into a black atheist show.
Race now?
I'm making it about race. Because your race of people enslaved my people and made us believe this bullshit.
So that's what it's about. So you don't actually listen to logic and rationality.
No, the logic you want to take it, because my boy can screen share some shit that your ancestors did to my people, cutting the bellies out of black women's stomach and still saying God is good. You're a white boy in America. You're a white boy in America that white ancestors gave us Christianity, Judaism, and Islam.
Hey, dumbass! I wasn't born here.
No, whatever. You're a Caucasian. Well, I don't know that. I don't know that you're telling the truth. I don't know that you're telling the truth. But you're still European. You're European, though. You're European. You're European.
In America way longer than I have. Oh shit!
No, but you're European though.
How would we talk about?
I can guarantee if you did a DNA test. I can guarantee you did a DNA test. Your people, your lineage will trace back to America too. So the people that came from Europe, are your ancestors. So let's look at the definition of atheism. Since you don't want to answer the question on intelligence, we might as well deal with atheism. Go ahead, Kwame.
Answer questions about intelligence, dude. I literally
no. You said an intelligent agent. How do you become intelligent? When you say somebody is intelligent, when you say that somebody's intelligent.
Shut up,
dude. No, you shut the fuck up. You're calling into a black atheist show, motherfucker. You do.
Dude, because my patience is running thin with you, man. This is what we gonna do.
Your boy's overshadowed.
No, fuck you. I don't give a fuck about you, cracker.
Listen,
shit.
You on mute right now. Listen and stop unmuting yourself, man, because I'm about to get you up out of here. All right, you got to be respectful. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a dialogue. We're gonna ask you a question, you answer the question. Then you ask us a question, we answer the question. We're gonna go back and forth. We can't talk at the same time, and we ain't gonna get disrespectful and go all back and forth. Cause don't nobody want to hear it. That ain't why people come here to watch this. So everybody's gonna start clicking off.
Race one time.
It don't matter. It don't matter. Listen to what I'm saying. This is how it's gonna go.
Boy, under control.
All right, man. Just about here, dog. I just warned you, dog. I'm about to get you up out of here. Did I just say that? Did I not say that? I just told him my patience is running thin. Did I not say that? Now, if you was my child, I had you over my knee right now, beating your ass. I just told you.
And I told him be quiet. I told him let him have it.
I just told you that shit. Now I don't got no tolerance for that shit. Now get the fuck up out of here. All right, now back to the subject at hand. So we didn't even get to the topic of the show yet. So I want to bring it back to what this is supposed to be about, the burden of proof. Because I just proved that whoever unicorn happy-go-lucky dude was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like all you gotta do is just look up on any internet or any book, dictionary, what atheism is, and it just shows that he don't know what the fuck he talking about. So you're the dumb fuck guy. Now, who has the burden of proof? So the burden of proof always lies on the person making the claim. It don't matter what the claim is. So the atheist is not making a claim because per definition, we just showed you that an atheist is a person that lacks a belief in a God. And if you visually challenged, let me read it for you. It says atheism in the broadest sense is an absence of belief in an existence of deities. Less broadly, so if you vocabulary challenge, what that means is that most people who call themselves an atheist simply lack the belief of existence of deities. However, there are a few people who call themselves an atheist where they say atheism is the rejection of a belief in any deities. Oh, so you're saying that people can use the same word to mean two different things? Whoa, that sounds like what I was saying a few minutes ago. And that's what it says right here on the internet, on Google, on Wikipedia too. Whoa, maybe that motherfucker don't know what he's talking about. Then it goes on to say, in an even narrower sense, so there's even another third definition of atheism, where atheism is specifically the position that there are no deities. So, dumb fuck, yeah, words have usages, not definition. Like I said, in the way I use the word is to lack a belief in a God. If I want to say there are no gods, I would use the word anti-theist. Why? Because it's easier to understand what I'm talking about, especially if I tell you this is what I mean. So who has the burden of proof? The person making the claim, not the person not making the claim. As an atheist, I'm saying I don't believe. So what you want me to prove that I don't believe? Like I just told you I don't believe. So that's the proof right there. is my I'm the arbiter of my beliefs. Now, if I was to say,
hey, Kweli, I don't mean to cut you off. Can you bring up the next definition? Can you bring up intelligence, if you don't mind? Because the definition of intelligence. Because that's what I was asking that Tama who. I was asking him, what is intelligence? And he wouldn't answer the fucking question. Then he wanted to try to switch it to knowledge. So if you don't mind, bring up the word intelligence. And I know he's still watching with his retarded ass.
Yeah, this faggot still in behind the scene, making little comments and stuff. But I ain't even paying him no mind. All right, so according to dictionary.com, intelligence is, under the first definition, the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. And also, the second definition says the collection of information of military or political value.
So that means tell me, where did God get his information from? You know what I'm saying? How did God become intelligent to create a planet? 8 planets at that, and only one can have life on it. You know what I'm saying? And the Earth only gets 1/2 of 1/1000th of the sunlight. So you mean to tell me this intelligent, all-powerful, all-knowing deity can create 8 planets with material and gases and all this other shit, but only make one where life is prevalent on? But then only create the sun so far away that we only get 1/2 of 1/1000th of the sun's light? Then you got an asteroid belt within inside the solar system. What did God need? What kind of intelligent designer recreate something that rains periodically destruction on planets? You mean to tell me that's intelligent? That's like putting a person in front of a firing squad. You know what I'm saying? If they all shoot at the same time, that bullet gonna hit that one person. That's the same thing with the fucking Earth. You got the asteroid belt. Now you got Mars that's closest to the asteroid belt, but shit, they say the asteroid called Apophis is gonna hit the Earth in 2029. What kind of intelligent designer is that? And when I ask you about fucking intelligence, you can talk about, oh, it's required knowledge. You're saying the same thing. Where did God require his fucking knowledge from? Tell me that, white boy. I rest my case. Now, the motherfucker can call in if he want to, but he ain't finna come in with that disrespectful shit, because I know the motherfucker lives in America. He's not overseas. He don't sound like a fucking English person or anything. But the thing is, that's why I brought up the issues of race, because he's calling to a black atheist show telling us to shut the fuck up. Man, you got me fucked up, homie. Anybody can call in, but respect the damn show. We asked you a goddamn question. He got butthurt about it. That's why I said earlier he was getting in his motherfucking feelings. He got butthurt about it. That's why I said earlier.
Mute your screen, Measure. You got to mute your stream.
He got butthurt about it. That's why I said earlier.
Mute your screen, Measure. You got to mute.
You got to mute your TV, man. You got to mute your TV.
Screen, Measure. You got to mute.
You got.
Not your mic. You gotta use headphones. You gotta mute your audio output because it's going back into your microphone.
Yeah,
so that's what I did. Or turn your screen on.
And this motherfucker gonna tell my lady if she want to try something different. Boy, if I ain't even go there, bro. Then people.
Well, I'm glad you kept your composure on that one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was like, nigga, white boy.
I was like, okay. Okay,
wow, dude. I didn't even hear all that. Seriously?
He said if you if you want to try something different, you can holler at him, basically.
Wow. I mean, he was talking over y'all, and I couldn't really understand what was being said because it was just, that was a mess. So I totally missed that. But yeah, that was very disrespectful.
Yeah, that's just out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't like imagine going on somebody else's YouTube channel and saying something about their lady. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck are you thinking? I don't know what people think. Like, I guess they think the internet gonna protect them, but they must ain't never seen that movie Jay and Silent Bob. You know what I'm saying? Where they was getting trolled on the internet, and then they made a movie at the end. They got some money. They spent all their money on airplane tickets going to see all the niggas that trolled their ass. It was like, are you such and such? Did you say this about Jay and Silent Bob? He was like, yeah.
Man, I bet that white boy got glad. He probably a 4-hour nerd looking motherfucker that still wear tighty whities. Probably masturbating in his mama's basement.
I can tell by his avatar. He a booty bandit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He got a unicorn.
He had a unicorn with rainbow dust coming out the butthole. Or was that a tail?
Nah, that was
rainbow. Was that a tail? There's rainbow dust come out of an asshole. Come on, bro.
Crazy.
We trying to educate people, and this fool gonna call in, gonna say, "Tell us shut the fuck up, man. Get your white ass on somewhere." And they probably live in Minnesota somewhere or West Virginia, fucking his cousins and shit.
Damn.
Or Arkansas somewhere. No disrespect to Arkansas people, because most of my people from Arkansas.
It's different types of white people, just like it's different types of black people. You know what I'm saying? You know how you got you got ghetto black people, and then you got civilized black people, and then you got civilized white people, and then you got what they call white trash. That nigga there's some white trash.
Man, because I wish he hadn't a got out of line with us at first, because I was trying to deal with intelligent design, because he did make a statement about my couch, my little recliner couch. I can prove who made that. This couch was made by Ashley's Furniture, bro. And the people at Ashley, I can probably prove. I can actually Google the person. You can Google the person who started Ashley's Furniture. Shit, these are the makers of my couch.
When you asked that guy, how do you acquire knowledge, I knew right off the top what you were talking about. I think the response you wanted was the fact that you have to read, you have to do research. That's how you acquire knowledge, through reading, right? I think that's what you wanted to hear.
He wouldn't give the answer. He knew the answer.
Huh?
Babe, he knew the answer. He just didn't want to answer. He just didn't want to answer because he knew that was going to basically poke a whole huge hole in his logic. Let's get to our other caller, Mario Keys. What you got to say, brother? We don't want to be selfish on the show. What's up, brother? How you doing, brother? Peace and black power.
Peace, brother. I'm just really trying to see what y'all talking about. I just got back from the store and I missed what just happened. Sound like y'all just kicked somebody off.
Yeah, we had a tomahawk. We had a Peckerwood on the show. This was being disrespectful. We asked him about knowledge, and then he gonna try to say Kweli's wrong about how he viewed atheism, or what his definition was, and he just basically tried to prove it, but he didn't want to hear the thing. But then he was disrespectful to my lady, he was disrespectful to me, you know what I'm saying? And Kweli just put his ass out, because Kweli was going to give him a chance to say, hey, we're not going to talk about race, we're not going to do all this shit, and I remained quiet because he is the host. You feel me? So I just shut my mouth, you know what I'm saying? But then Kweli had to put his ass out because the white boy got in his feelings. He must jack out with icy hot or something. I don't know. What's
hey, I'll be right back, Kwame. I'll be right back.
All right, then.
I have a question.
Go ahead, bro.
How deep does atheism go? What's the ceiling of atheism?
Atheism don't go deep. Atheism does nothing. It's just the answer to one question, whether or not a God exists. It doesn't go any deeper than that. Now, what goes deep is philosophy. Philosophy tells you, well, this is possible and this is what creates, and metaphysics, all the other bullshit. But atheism is just the answer to one question, whether or not a God exists. And we are in the null hypothesis, meaning that we don't believe that a God exists. We just look at it as we're humans and we're doing everything on our own. You know what I'm saying? Because no God.
Y'all don't agree. The God exists as far as the common definition for the most part, right?
Well, when you look at the common definition, we deal with origins. Like the origins of the word God mean to invoke or pour out libation. But see, the Europeans and the Germanic term means to invoke or pour out libation. But later on, when Gutenberg and all them other people started, coming out, because they used to call it Lord, they didn't call it God. They call it Lord, or they called it by its name. So the word God is basically commonly used to basically identify one person or one individual that's in the sky somewhere, watching over everything, the creator of all things. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the meaning of the word. You know what I'm saying? The origins of it, actually, for better terms.
But are y'all open to other ideologies about God? I'm just asking. I'm not saying that I know it. I'm just wondering extents of it. But I do feel you what you're saying. I 100% feel exactly what you're saying, I accept that what you're saying as far as it being a response to one approach or whatsoever, one philosophy of God. You know what I'm saying? Atheism is that response to. So I understand this. I understand what you're saying, brother. I digress.
Well, we're open to evidence. We're not open to other ideologies because it seems like it kind of like puts you back in a religion. You know what I'm saying? Something that you have to go by. Atheism has no religious tenets, meaning that we don't have a God that we pray to. We don't have a book that we go by. None of that shit. So if you're talking about ideologies and stuff like that, we do, different worldviews. Our worldview is that we're basically humans and we're just basically here. And we don't know what created us, but we have some evidence that the sun created everything from a secretion disk. So science is our best explanation for the origins of life. You know what I'm saying? And that's with the sun being a creator of the planets. And they do it. And I think in the Alpha Centauri constellation, they actually the Hubble Space Telescope pointed towards a newly star that's basically got dust around it. So that's how they came up with. So that's how they came. Go ahead.
Atheism is sun worship?
No, hell no.
Is it heliocentric?
He already told you, bro. He just told you atheism is only an answer to a single question. It goes no further than that.
I just listened to everything he said about the sun as far as creation coming from the secretion of sun disks. And the sun.
He's explaining to you the truth of how planets are forming. He's not telling you nothing about what he believes or what atheists believe. So when you ask, does atheism do this? Will atheism do that? The answer to all your future questions is no. Atheism only answers one question: do you believe a God exists? If the answer is no, you're an atheist. That's it.
I get it. He was just going in on the sun.
No, reason why I brought up the sun is because atheists follow science and biology, things that actually can be tested and things like that. Like you can test biology, you can test things in nature scientifically and stuff like that. So things that can be observed, you know what I'm saying, and be tested and be demonstrated. That's what atheists.
Keep in mind, y'all, when we say what atheists do, we speaking euphemistically. It's not a broad sense of like every atheist, because atheism is not a religion. It's not like you gotta be this way to be an atheist. If you don't believe in a God, then you're an atheist. Now, most atheists tend to believe, or I should say, most atheists tend to accept scientific methodology. But I'm sure there's some atheists out there that don't accept science. You know what I'm saying? There's some religious people out there that are atheists, like the Raelians.
So you do subscribe to the understanding that all atheists don't believe the same thing, pretty much like everything. Yeah, pretty much like everything else, right?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. What's up, Qube?
Yeah. Peace. What's going on, man? Y'all doing all right?
Peace and Black Power. Yeah, we doing all right, man. I hate that we had to kick the peckerwood off, man. But these motherfuckers, when they see a black atheist, man, they like, oh, we ain't control these Negroes no more. They're waking up.
See, this is the thing. Atheism is what's gonna save the black community. You know what I'm saying? That's what they don't realize. The reason why church is so alive, because anything that's ever been empowering for black people, what they do, they shut it down. You know what I'm saying?
Black
but the
Panther
church,
Party.
they want to, y'all do that. Y'all keep on going to church. You see Donald Trump holding up the Bible and stuff. Now that should be a red flag for any black Christian. When your fucking enemy is up there, you know what I'm saying, with the same religion, like, yeah, you should be like, hold on. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like y'all get suspicious about this vaccine because y'all like, the government lied to us. I don't want to take the vaccine. Well, nigga, the government told you to believe in Jesus too. So where is your well, I know where your cognitive dissonance is, but where is your acknowledgement of your cognitive dissonance? How you gonna be a believer at the same time you're an anti-vaxxer because you don't trust the government, but the government promotes Christianity? Help me understand that.
Well, I did want to ask a question. I'm not sure if you guys covered it, but
go ahead.
The title of the show is who holds the burden of proof. So when we talk about the burden of proof, I assume that you're talking about who's making the claim, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So when you answer a question, are you making a claim? Because what it sounded like you said is that
you absolutely are making a
is that
claim. You absolutely are making a claim.
so why wouldn't you think that atheists would not have a burden of proof?
Well, because the claim that atheists are making does not require proof. The question is, do you believe in a God? Now, you change the question. If you say, does a God exist? Now you're asking a different question, in which I would have the burden of proof if I would say no. But if you ask me, do I believe that a God exists? And I say no, I don't have to prove what I don't believe. Like I was trying to say last time we was on the stream, it's my belief. It's just you got to take my word for it. If I tell you I don't believe it, I don't believe it. But if I was to say there is no God, then that would be a claim that I would have to burden of proof for.
I'm not understanding the differences because you're saying no to both of them.
Because one is the question about what I believe to be true, and one is the question about what is actually true. So it's like if I was to say, is your girlfriend fucking Chris Brown? And you say, I don't think so. And I say, prove it. Like, you see how that don't really make no sense? But if I say, is your girlfriend fucking Chris Brown? And you say no, and I say, prove it. Now that make a little bit more sense. You dig? You see the difference now?
Or Trey Songz.
I'm still not seeing it. No, I'm still not seeing it.
I can't really help you,
bruh. You said I don't.
At best, you brought up agnosticism into that when you said that I don't know. So that's why it's confusing.
An agnostic is an atheist as well. So we went over this last time. If you lack a belief, if the question is like I'm saying, you asking a different question than what an atheist is answering. You asking, is there a God? An atheist is saying, I don't believe so, and then you saying, prove it. Well, I'm not saying that. I'm not making a definite claim. If I say I don't believe so, I'm saying I don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe it. I don't actively believe it. Do you understand that? I'm not saying that. All right, let me make it clear. Let me make it real clear for you, because this is the simplest way to understand it. I got dreads, right? There is definitely a number of dreads on my head, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And that number is either positive or negative. There's no in between, right? I mean, I'm sorry. It's either odd or even. I'm sorry. It's either odd or even. There's no in between.
Right.
The number of dreads in my head is either odd or even. So if I ask you, if I make the claim, the number of dreads in my head is an even number, do you believe me?
Do I believe you?
Yes.
Well, there's a few options that I could take. I can be agnostic to it and just suspend judgment on the matter.
I'm asking you about your belief. You don't know what you believe?
I just told you I'm agnostic and I suspend judgment.
So you telling me you don't know what you believe? That's what you're telling me. I'm asking you.
No,
Listen, hold on, Q. Listen, because I know you're a smart brother, but you got to listen to what I'm saying, bro. The number of dreads on my head is an even number. Do you believe that?
I just told you I'm agnostic to where I suspend judgment.
So you don't believe it? That's what you're saying.
No. I'm suspending judgment, meaning I don't believe.
All right, listen, bro.
I do believe.
To believe is to knowing and believing is two different things. That's
exactly okay. But it don't matter. I'm asking you a question. There's really only two options. It's a yes or no.
That's a logical fallacy. That's an either or logical fallacy. Especially when there's a third option, you can't give me an either or.
Q, you telling me that you don't know what you believe right now. That's what you're doing. I'm not asking. Listen, bro. I'm not asking you, is the number of dreads on my head odd or even? That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you, do you believe my claim that the number of dreads on my head is even? And right now, if I said that, do you actively believe that is true?
And I'm telling you that I'm suspending judgment, meaning I'm.
So that means you don't believe it. So do you understand that means you don't believe it?
No, hold on. If you're gonna take it as I don't believe it, then why not just take it as I do believe it? What I'm telling you is that there's a third option.
Because you don't, bro. Listen to what you're saying, bro. Because I want to make you not look so stupid. Like I'm trying to help you because I know that you're a smart brother. I mean, you making yourself look real stupid right now. I'm asking you about your own belief. All right, I'm asking you. I'm making a claim, and I'm asking you, do you believe? And you saying I suspend judgment, and then I say, now, do you understand that means that you lack a belief? If you do not actively have a belief, if you don't say yes, I believe that, anything other than yes is a lack of that belief. Do you understand that, my brother?
I understand that you're incorrect, and I can actually, because you guys said that you deal with science, I could actually show you the science of it. Because once again, that's a logical fallacy when you're giving me an either or when there's a third option. And the third option is what I explained, which is agnosticism, which is to suspend judgment. Period. There's no way around it.
All right, this maybe I think you misunderstand it, bro. So let me hold on, man, because he's not understanding still. I'm gonna let you come in.
I understand what you're saying. I understand all three options. The problem is you only want to give me two. I understand.
No. Listen. It's not that I only want to give you two. There are only two options, just like there are only two options of the odd or even. It's only two. You can't be kind of odd and kind of even. It's only two options. So what you want to do is you want to change the question I'm asking. You want me to ask you, is the number of dreads on my head odd or even? And then in which case it would be three options. You could say odd, even, or I don't know. But I'm not asking you that, bro. I'm asking you, do you believe my claim that the number of dreads on my head is even? It's only two options, yes or no. Do you understand that? If you don't understand that, I can't help you.
No, brother. I understand what you're trying to get me to say, which is a logical fallacy once again. But I'm telling you that there's a third option and you can't get around it. So all we have to do is replace the dreads on your head with God.
That's the whole point of the analogy, bro. But I can't get you to understand the analogy to get that far. You got to understand this point first. Then we're going to replace the dreads with the God. But we got to get this out of the way first, because you don't understand that there's a difference between what you believe and what is actually true. So I'm asking you about what you believe, a claim that I made. If you accept that claim, that's a totally different question than is the number of dreads on my head odd or even. So you saying that there's three options when I'm telling you there's not. I'm asking you about what you believe, bro. You either believe it or you don't. You can't. Well, I don't know what I believe. Well, I mean, you can, but you just sound stupid. You don't know what you believe. You don't know what you believe, bro.
Brother, relax. I understand why you feel this way. And the reason you feel this way is due to the science that you guys say that you cling to. And the science says that there is a third option. There is no way around that. You can.
All right, I just muted your mic, bro, because you're like a brick wall. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. You know what I'm saying? First of all, I ain't never said shit about I cling to no science. Don't put words in my mouth. What I said is I accept science. I ain't never said I cling to shit. That sounds like some old religious bullshit or what you cling to. So don't put no words in my mouth, all right? So,
and I'm still kind of confused. Is this guy really an atheist, bro?
I don't know, but what I know is he not stupid. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering. That's why I'm kind of getting frustrated, because he acting like he having a hard time understanding this, and I feel like he pretending like he don't understand what I'm saying, but he actually do understand what I'm saying, and it's kind of pissing me the fuck off. So let's move on to something else.
And you know what? I've seen some of the video, and he has some strong atheism. Like, he's a strong atheist, or he argues like a strong atheist. But why are you playing devil's advocate, man? With your brothers.
Brother, I promise you, I'm not playing devil's advocate. I'm only dealing with the science. That's all I'm dealing with. Period. I'm not going with this other crazy shit that there's no evidence of. I'm only dealing with the science.
We ain't got to deal with the science, bro.
Options.
We ain't got to deal with the science, bro. I'm asking you a simple question. Do you believe my claim that the number of dreads on my head is even? That's a yes or no question.
Brother, you're gonna get frustrated, but I'm telling you that there's a third option, and that third option is agnosticism, to where I can suspend judgment.
Okay, now, let me do this, because since he want to go there, since he want to say, hold on, Major, since he want to say that he want to take the third option that he suspends belief, as he says, that means he lacks a belief. If you suspend belief, that means you don't have it. If I say, dog, I suspend belief on that means I don't believe it. You fucking idiot. If you suspend belief, you lack belief. That means you don't have a belief. All right.
Exactly.
The reason why you can't admit that is because that makes your whole point null and void. So you don't want to be like, oh, you right. That sometimes you got to do that, bro. So if somebody proves you wrong, then you wrong.
Now,
you don't want to say, oh, damn, you right.
Now, if I say, Kweli, you got the number of dreads on your head is even, and you got 26 dreads. Would I be right, or would I just be believing that you got 26 dreads?
I suspend belief. Check this out. What he want to do is he want to say, I said, the number of dreads on my head is even. Do you believe me? He says, I suspend belief. And then what that does is what he want to say is he don't have a burden of proof. But I'm not asking you, is the number of dreads on my head odd or even? I'm asking you, do you believe me? So you can't suspend belief on what you believe. I'm asking you specifically about your belief. Now, if I was to go and say, now is the number of dreads on my head odd or even, then you would have a choice. But I can't even get to the next point of the analogy because he don't understand the first part. He won't even answer the first part correctly, or yes or no. It don't really matter what you answer. But the point is, I can't say is it green or is it yellow, or whatever. That would give you 3 answers if you say you don't know. But I can say is it odd or even. Or do you believe that it's odd or even? And you say you don't know. I'm asking you about your belief, bro. So that's why I say about being an atheist. It's a question about my belief. Now, if you want to ask a different question, then there's a different answer, and then I will have a burden of proof. But you want to say that an atheist always had a burden of proof, and it really depends on who you're talking to. And you got to ask that individual. What do you mean by atheist? Are you saying that there is no God, or are you saying that you lack a belief in a God? And then you can go further than that. But y'all want to do, y'all want to try to make atheism a religion. Y'all want to try to, every atheist believe this. So if you say you atheist, I can come to you and I can say this. No, bro, you can't do that. You got to ask me because like Kwame just said, atheism only means a person who does not actively believe, a person who is not convinced that there is a God. If you're not convinced, that means if you're agnostic
to one question,
if you don't know, if you're going around calling yourself agnostic, that means you are not convinced. If you are not convinced, that means you are atheist by my definition. Now, if you ask Qube, he probably got a different definition. When you talk to him, you talk to him on his definition. When you talk to me, you talk to me on my definition. So I'm telling you, my definition of the word atheist, there is no way you can have a burden of proof because it's a question about my belief. Now, if you want to ask me, not talk about my belief, if you want to say, hey, Kweli, is there a God? I'm going to say no. Now, then I have a burden of proof because then I have made a claim. It's not about my belief. But what you want to do is you want to try to make atheism into a religion, and that ain't going down, bro, because that's not what it is.
Hey, Mike.
Why do you think I want to make atheism a religion? Like, explain that. Because
that's what you're doing. You always call up here as an atheist, that, and I'm telling you, bro, you got to talk to people on a individual basis. I'm going by what you the way you sound when you
I kind of feel like this is a sparring match, though. Hey, Kweli, I kind of feel like this is a sparring match because I seen Qube videos, man. The dude got some. Dude, you ain't dumb, bro. I think you sparring, bro. You a smart ass nigga. Like I seen your video. Like Kweli put me on your shit. I'm like, why are you sparring with us, though?
Like I know this nigga understand what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, I know you understand what I'm saying, bro. Like you ain't don't play me like that, bro. I know you understand what I'm saying. Because this shit is
I do understand what you're saying. And I don't know how many times I gotta say that I do understand what you're saying, but I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying.
But Q, I got my lady on the show, man. Hey, Lasia, you want to ask any more questions, babe?
No, I'm just listening. This is very interesting.
You just listening?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So anybody want to ask my girl a question? I ain't no jealous type nigga, man, but that white boy did piss me off. That's the only time I ain't gonna lie. That's the only time I got around.
I'll throw a question out there. I'll throw a question out there. It doesn't necessarily have to be to your girl, but if she's an atheist, a local atheist, then she can respond to it. So I wanted to talk about.
No, she's Christian. She's Christian.
Oh, okay, even better. So when it comes to agnosticism, what are your thoughts on agnosticism locally?
All right. I want to go first because it's real quick.
Yeah, we got 15 minutes. We got damn near 14 minutes in the show left.
Real quick, what I think about agnosticism, I think anybody that call themselves an agnostic, they either don't want to say that I'm an atheist because of the social stigma associated with the word, or they don't know that they are an atheist because they don't know the true definition of what an atheist is. That's what I think about agnosticism.
Yeah, that's basically it, man. That's like I said, man. When you're dealing with the word, like I said, atheism. Like I told the Peckerwood, atheism is the answer to one question: whether or not a God exists. We don't have no religious tenets. We don't have a book. We don't have an atheist God. If I kill somebody, I'm not going to kill them in the name of atheism. But if y'all kill, if Christians kill, they kill in the name of Jesus. Like when I was over in the fucking Iraqi war, we're doing God's work. So why the fuck I gotta kill somebody for God when this nigga could just like he killed everybody in the fucking flood, but you made me join he ain't make me join the army, but when I was a believer, I feel like God put that in my, in my life so I can join the army. But God said, well, join the army, I need you to kill some niggas for me. That sounds like a motherfucking mob boss to me. Go kill them Muslims over there in Iraq. When I was over in Iraq, I thought I was doing God's work. I wasn't doing God's work. I was doing the United States work. Okay? That's just like when I was telling my babe, I said, babe, when you got that job as a podiatrist, you did that shit. Ain't no magic man in the sky did nothing for you, baby. And I love you. I love you, girl. You my girl. I'm telling you on my show. I love you. But damn, ain't no God did shit for you. You did it for yourself. And I hope
Can I read something real quick? Like,
go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off. I know you're professing your love for your girl. He loves you. Bro.
Shut up, Q. Shut the fuck up, Q. Q, you all gotta say some shit. Fuck you, Q. Go ahead, go.
I just want to say something for y'all.
Go ahead, bro.
I just wanted to read this on agnosticism so you guys can kind of understand what I was saying. That's why I wanted to hear you guys' thoughts on it first. So when I talk about atheism, theism, agnosticism, I'm talking about science. And I understand that you guys are local atheists. I get that. But what I'm trying to do for you, and in turn, it also helps me, is I'm trying to show you guys that there are other ways to argue about these things, and you can actually be successful while doing them. So now let me read this to you. It says, but it was, and this is part of the, this is Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, and this is how they define agnosticism. And it said, but Huxley's application of this principle to theistic and atheistic belief that ultimately had the greatest influence on the meaning of the term. He argued that since neither of those beliefs is adequately supported by evidence, we ought to suspend judgment on the issue of whether or not there is God. So this is the guy that made up the term. This is where the term comes from. And he's telling you in a philosophical way why he introduced the term. And he also calls atheism a belief as well as theism a belief. So when you run into theists who are very well equipped with philosophy, you won't be able to use local atheistic usages. You have to deal with the science. But that's all I got. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it, Q. Appreciate it, Q. Hold on, Major. We got a caller. We got biblical account.
I ain't saying nothing all day.
No, Major, we're gonna let you speak, but I'm just acknowledging to the audience. We got another caller, but Major Keys, going to make your statement real quick because we got another caller. We might go into overtime. Kweli, is it okay? We go into overtime just a little bit.
Yeah, we good.
Okay, we good. All right, Major Keys, go ahead. Make your statement.
My bad, Major, man. I know we've been drowning you out, man. I had got a little long-winded up, but you can go ahead, brother.
All right, go ahead, Major. Then we're gonna bring biblical accounts on. Okay.
I am respectful, Kwame. You can't say I'm not. But look, I just want to say this right quick, and just give me 30 to 45 seconds, and I'm done.
You got a whole minute. You got a minute. Go ahead.
That's dope. Thank you, bro. The biggest thing about y'all's approach to atheism is like y'all use the word belief all the time. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's a point y'all trying to make or whatsoever, I see y'all use the word belief a lot. And I'm just like, as an atheist, the word belief shouldn't even be in your vocabulary. You understand what I'm trying to say? But I'm not condemning y'all for that because I know who y'all talking to. The people, your audience still use the word belief. Therefore, y'all gotta use the word belief. I just want to say this. I have a point to make, but it's more so like somewhat in a parable. And I'm gonna leave y'all with this. It's all I want to say, and I'm done for the night. So let's say, and this is pretty much a focus or a discernment discernment between knowing, having faith, and having belief. I want to say this parable, and I'm done. So let's say today's Wednesday. Let's say today's Friday, for instance. I just got paid. I need you to take me to go cash my check. It's across town. And you only have a little bit of gas. And I'm telling you, I need you to give me a ride, go get my check, and I'm gonna fill your tank up. All right. So you say, okay, bet. We on the way to go get my check. And you feeling a little nervous, you want to double check. So you're asking me, yo, Major, are you sure your check is there? And I say, I have faith it is. You like, nigga, I'm on E, bro. I need more than faith. Do you know that your check is there so you can put gas in my tank? And I say, bruh,
good point.
I believe. Look, I say, bruh, I believe it's there. You like, bruh, you got faith that is there. You believe that is there. None of that shit is good enough for me. I'm taking you to go get your check, and you say you're gonna put gas in my, bruh. If that check ain't there, bruh, we ain't gonna be able to make it back, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's your check there. And I say, I hope so. You like, bruh,
you
right. You having faith, you believing, you hoping. None of that shit is good enough for me. I need to know that you know that check is there. You ain't gonna be satisfied until I say, bruh, I know my check is there, and we're gonna pick it up, and I'm gonna put that gas in your tank, and we good. So I'm letting y'all know, hope, faith, belief is all bullshit. You remove these words. Oh
my God, that was beautiful.
That was beautiful. No, hey, Major, you did the fool. That's why I said, Major, I knew you were just asking questions, but thank you for calling to our show, bro. You can stay on right now.
But let him stay on because I wanted to respond.
Hold on, Q.
I don't want him to leave is all.
No, he's not gonna leave. No, Qube, Major Key, stay here. I'm glad you brought that up, man, because it's the same fucking shit.
That was beautiful. I like that.
That was beautiful. That was.
Thank you.
Babe, let me ask my old lady. Babe, what you think about that? Let me ask my old lady. Babe, what you think about that?
Well, I was actually going to keep it to myself because I didn't really think that we have much time to deal with that.
No, we got time, babe. We're going to overtime. So we got another caller.
I mean, the only thing that really comes to mind, is I know that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And there is a such thing as foolish faith. You can claim that you have faith that something is there and it's really not. But I really think, it takes a person who really has a special relationship with God to know for a fact, that something is what it is. And very, very few people have that special relationship. I'm talking like people like that are constantly like always praying. Like, I'm not saying that they're perfect, but they have like a special relationship, They're usually the ones who are just completely like sold out and always praying and really have that special relationship with God. But I mean, I do understand, there's a lot of Christians that claim, I have faith that, this is going to happen. And really, it's not that way. I've seen it before.
Babe, but all the things that we've been through, did I come through with the goods, or did God come through with it? Was it me or God? Be honest.
I mean, physically it was you, but at the same time, it was you. It was you.
This is the problem that I have with believers. See, anything that good happen, y'all just give credit to God, and when it's something bad happen, y'all give credit to the devil, even though you never seen any one of them. Or you don't have any evidence to be one of them.
It's no disrespect.
No.
It's no disrespect, babe. But he right. He right though.
Honestly, I think a lot of Christians feel like when something bad happens, it's always the devil's fault. And that's not necessarily true. I think a lot of times when we go through things, it's meant to grow us, into, developing character and becoming a better person. But we're so quick to look at that situation that we're,
I was gonna say, or there is no God, and when we go through things, it's just because pure happenstance of there being 7 billion people on the planet. There's going to be some times where we have some good days, and sometimes we have some bad days. No need for any God to explain why bad things happen. And furthermore, if there was a God, there shouldn't be any bad things happen. I mean, we could go back to what Voice of Reason for Our People said. If you were God, and I don't really know how to pronounce your name, but sister, if you were God, what would you like? What type of world would you create? Would you create the world that you live in with all this messed up stuff going on? Babies being born dead, like stillbirths. What's the point of that? Why did God make stillbirths? What type of lesson would a woman learn from carrying a baby for 9 months for it to be born dead? Like, what is your God trying to teach her? Like, I don't think that everything has a lesson into. I think some things are just fucked up because we live in a world without a God.
And babe, the reason, I mean, hold on, babe. Like I said, I know that right there is a touchy subject for you.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know it's a touchy subject for you, my love. But man, he had to say it. I didn't look. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't have the courage to say what he just said to you face to face, and we live in the same house. But he right. You know what I'm saying? What's the point? Hold on. Let me finish, and I gotta let biblical account come on because we going into overtime. But babe, me and you as boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever, he had to say it. Now, hey Kweli, I appreciate you saying it. I just didn't know how to say it, bro. But you came with the real.
Yeah, I feel you. And you know what I'm saying? I don't even know, like, you know what I'm saying, no detail. I did my first time talking to you. I don't know nothing about you. All I know is Kwame called you his wife, so he must really like you. And that's all I know. So, but I meant what I said. Like, that's a real question that I want to know. Like, because people say that a lot. What you're saying, I hear that a lot. So I want to know what is the point for all of the suffering? Because it's real easy to say, oh, well, to teach me a lesson. Well, what's the point of this lesson? What lesson could somebody possibly be learning from stillbirth?
Can I just say this one part? I'm done. Look, the Bible tells you, even though I don't subscribe to the Bible, I'm still a student of all knowledge. So I just want to say that the Bible tells you the devil doesn't do anything without God's permission. So the biggest thing is to understand. I ain't gonna say everybody gonna understand it, but this is the biggest understanding. The devil is on God's payroll. If you look at it like that, it'll help 1,000%. The Bible says it. In other words, Satan is on God's payroll. He can't do nothing without God's permission. I digress.
Thank you, Major. Biblical account, man. What you got to say about this, bro? You got I'm the host tonight, but the major host is Kweli Kush. We got the smart guy Qube. He be fucking with us. I'm gonna label you as a nigga that fuck with us. Major Keys, and then I got my beautiful, my lustrous wife, Alasia Askafant. She's on the panel. So what you got to say for us, Biblical?
Is my mic coming in clear?
Yeah, it's clear. Go ahead.
Loud and
Say what you got to say. Loud and clear.
Yeah, the definition for God actually proves God because absolute nothingness as a starting point isn't possible. Therefore, for a particular to have always existed, to be everywhere by default, to be omnipotent, to be the sustainer of stars, and to be moving internally is a God. It's that simple.
So Q. Hold on, no. We're gonna let the real smart we smart too. We as atheists. Q, what you got to say about this? This is Q. We're gonna put you to the test. Q, go ahead.
Nah, I'd rather let y'all deal with that. I wanted to respond to Major, so I'd rather y'all deal with that.
Hell no, Q, hell no. Q, this yours. Right. Go ahead, Q.
All right, I'll just say this very simply to the brother biblical account. You know, when you start to get into anything omni, it's self-refuting. Nothing can't be all powerful, all knowing. That's self-refuting. So it's very simple. It's not difficult. If you want to dig a little deeper, we can, but that's just about it. And then when you talk about absolute nothingness, I don't know who's ever made that claim of absolute nothingness. For all we know, that there could be a naturalistic way how this how this universe came to be. So I'm not sure where you're getting at when you say absolute nothingness. That's not even the claim that scientists make. So it's not that difficult.
What I said is that absolute nothingness as a starting point isn't possible. And I started off with God's omnipresent attribute, because for a particular to have always existed has to be everywhere by default, not contingent on a second particular. So all I have to do is just repeat the definition for God, and this proves the God of the Bible, is that for a particular to have always existed has to be everywhere by default and moving internally or functioning internally. Therefore, in this scenario, this particular has life. So you have an omnipresent particular moving, therefore God exists.
I would reject your claim. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah,
No,
you can't.
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead, Q. Q, this yours.
Yeah. So what you cannot do is attempt to couple a particular and then also the God of the Bible, because once again, the God of the Bible is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. So what you cannot have is a God who's omniscient and also all powerful, because anything that's omniscient can't change its mind. It's self-refuting. You cannot argue for that God. You just can't do it.
Yeah, but God can choose to limit his omniscience, and only
if he limits it, then he's not omniscient. You understand that, right?
It's not all powerful.
But he could choose. He can choose because in Genesis he says to Adam and Eve, "Where are you?" So he just chooses to limit his knowledge.
Now I gotta step in on that because I've been reading. I've been doing Bible. I've been missing out on episode 4. But biblical account. Let me ask you a question. If God has to ask where you been and He knows where you been, is that condescending or that's just God not being all knowing?
No, that's just God choosing to play games.
So you shit, that made me choke. Let me pause my.
So you're saying that God. So you're at so this is what you're doing. You're doing two things. The first thing you're doing is psychoanalyzing God, saying that God chose to do X, Y, or Z, and then secondly, you're admitting that God plays games. So first, I need to know, how did you gain the ability to psychoanalyze God and to say that he chose to limit his omniscience, which doesn't make any sense. You can't limit omniscience, but go ahead.
Yeah, but we'll take this a step back. Only a loving God can exist, and only the God of the Bible is loving.
Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you want to take a step back, but I want you to deal with what I just said, though.
Yeah, I'll address what you said. But only a loving God can exist, and only the God of the Bible is loving, because he sent a part of himself to die for humans, and to address the omniscience.
Wait. Time out. He died and came back. So how does resurrection a sacrifice negates the point of a sacrifice? I mean, resurrection of a sacrifice negates the point of a sacrifice. So if I kill you and you say, well, I'm a sacrifice for Kweli, Qube, everybody on this panel, if you biblical account, if you sacrifice your life for us and you come back, was that really a sacrifice?
Well, you're missing the point.
No, I'm asking yes or no. Is that a sacrifice? If you sacrifice for everybody on this panel, me, Kweli, my wife, Major Keys and Q, if you say, well, I'm gonna sacrifice them so they don't go to jail for the rest of their life or get a traffic ticket or whatever, and you come back to life, was that a sacrifice?
Yeah, but I'm not God. I'm not God in this scenario.
I'm just saying. Oh, okay, so anybody that's in the flesh, God, this Jesus character was in the flesh. How did that make him God?
That's the point you're missing. Is that God? I'm
gonna let you explain.
God is infinite in size by default. Therefore, it would be contradictory for him to die for humans. So he had to come up with a plan to come in a finite form to die for humans. And this is the main theme of the Bible, is that the Messiah was sent down and died for the sins of humans. And there was something else I wanted to address about God's omniscience, if that person can repeat that question.
Yeah, I was asking. I was asking, how can God limit his omniscience? Because if he limited his omniscience, then he would no longer be omniscient.
But that means you're saying God can't do anything. God can just
Can God make a rock that he cannot lift?
Yeah, he can lift it with one hand.
No, I'm just saying, can he make No, listen to my question. Can God make a rock that he cannot lift?
Yeah, he can lift it and not lift it at the same time. So that is a contradiction. Because he can just limit his power. He can create a rock, limit his power so that he cannot lift the rock up, but at the same time, he can lift the rock up. So that question is a contradiction.
Well, no, that would prove your God is a contradiction, because if your God can make a rock that he cannot lift, that would prove that he's not all powerful.
But therefore, he can lift it at the exact same time.
How can you lift a rock that you can't lift?
You contradicting yourself, bro. You listen to what you're saying. You're saying he can't lift it, but he can lift it. That's a contradiction. So that just demonstrates to everybody on the audience that Christians are the worst sufferers of cognitive dissonance, and y'all believe two simultaneous things that can't be true at the same time. If he can't do it, how can he do it? If he can't do it, how can he do it, sir?
He can create a rock, a heavy rock, and then limit his power to where he can't lift the rock. At the same time, he can lift the rock if he just listen
to what you're saying. He limits his power to where he can't lift the rock. That should be where you put a period in your sentence. But you go on to say, but he can lift the rock.
But at the same time,
once you limit something, you no longer have omnipotence. Do you understand that, sir?
Well, he has two hands. One hand is omnipotent.
Hold on, listen.
Wait. Did you say? So you're saying God is physical? Hey, Q. Let me deal with this quick. So God is physical and non-physical. Is that what you're saying?
I was just giving you that's what Lord Jesus can do. I was just giving you an analogy. But God by default.
Okay, so Jesus. So there's billions of fish in the sea. He only chose 2 to turn into 5,000 pieces of these 2 fishes. So Jesus went fishing. He went to Walmart, got him a fishing pole. So, I'm gonna go on there and fish for 2 fish. And I see a lot of homeless people on the beach in Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. I'm gonna go on the fish and get 2 pieces of fish, right? So God took 2 pieces of fish, turned it to 5,000 pieces of the same fish. How is that possible? Do you know the metric weight of a fish? It's less than 5.6 grams. So you mean tell me he had 2 fishes that weigh less than 5 points? No, actually, excuse me. It was 5.6 grams. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to get the mathematics right. So you mean you can turn 5.6 grams into 5,000 of those 5.6 grams and feed everybody with 5 loaves of bread?
Well,
now we all know
you probably don't have a hard time believing that stuff. But I want to change the subject just a little bit.
Go ahead, Kweli. Go ahead, Kweli. I know hey, look, this is the Atheist Church. We're in overtime, so please bear with us, y'all. We gotta figure this shit out. Go ahead, Kweli. I'm sorry, bro.
Biblical account. You said that God is infinite by default. So let me ask you: Did God create space time?
Space-time doesn't exist in my worldview, but God did create the universe.
So hold on. Space-time. I'm having a hard time. If space-time doesn't exist, then where are we? Where do things? Where are things? Where is the Earth right now?
Well, Higgs fields or Higgs bosons debunks space-time.
All right, let's take space out of it. Do you believe in time? Do you believe that that's a real thing? Do you believe in time?
Yeah, the concept of the movement of physical things. Yes.
Did God invent time?
God is the primary mover for time.
Time doesn't move. Time is a measurement of unit. Time is a measurement of units of.
I
basically,
agree.
Yeah,
I agree. But I'm surprised that a believer also has that same conclusion. Like I don't see how you can be scientifically minded enough to say,
but not time.
Time is related to movement, but not at the same time realize that there is no magical sky data required to make things move. But what I'm trying to get at is where is God before the universe is created? If well, you just said you don't believe in space time, so like where are we now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where is God now? If you don't believe in space, how can you not believe in space?
Yeah, but that's a game of semantics. Space is just a label for an immaterial or physical particular. But by default, I want to address this because I don't want to, just to prevent heresy, is that God is not physical. It says in the Bible, he is a spirit, and it mentions that he is a roaring fire.
So what makes you think that we know?
Is it? Hold on, Kweli. Is it fire physical? Like if I put my hand right now on my stove, ain't fire physical?
This don't help. This don't help me though.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna say this, babe. Is to my wife. I'm gonna say something to my wife, babe. This is no disrespect to you, but you believe the same thing he does. You say God is a spirit, but you didn't say he's a roaring fire. So if I go right now and touch fire, am I gonna get physically burned? Because anything.
But check this out though. This is what I'm saying. Like that don't help nothing. That don't help nothing. When y'all say God is a spirit, that don't change anything. Y'all understand that I'm an atheist. I do not believe that God is a real thing, that it actually exists. So when I say like, what is your God? Why you believe in God? And you say, well, God is just a spirit. Guess what? I don't believe spirits exist either. So you still in the same boat. That you're not helping me. What is your fucking God and what is the fucking spirit? And why do you think they are both real? How did you come to that conclusion?
Fire is an abstract force.
No, the fuck it ain't.
Fire is immaterial.
Fire is not. Fire is created. So
bro, what you think fire is? You think fire is magic, bro? Fire is a chemical. It's a glowing gas. That's all. It's oxygen.
It's oxygen and helium.
Label. That's the word fire. Is just a label. A physical.
Bro, fire has chemical atoms. That it has molecules. Like it's physical matter.
It's oxygen and helium combusting together. Yeah, it really exists.
None of that shit. So
it's not imaginary.
The spirit. What is the spirit made of? Is it made of atoms? No, because then it's not real. Anything that's not made of atoms is not fucking real. What is your God made of? What is the spirit made of? Help me understand this. And I apologize if I sound like I'm upset, but like y'all not helping me. Y'all just saying, I'm saying, what is your God? And then you mention another thing that don't fucking exist. What is your fucking spirit, dude?
Well, he did mention fire. So Kweli, he did mention fire, but we got to understand the components of fire, though. You know, because if fire is made of a hydrogen and helium combustion together, you know, argon and all that shit, then I can touch fire and I get burned. So that will put God in a physical capacity. But you're saying your God is not of that physical capacity. So how can anything of a immaterial nature arbitrarily materialize anything of an organic nature if it's not real?
You're not listening. So
no.
Do you think that maybe that could just be a metaphor? There's a lot of metaphors used in the Bible.
Intangible spirit, infinite in size and functioning, and this is where all the three primary colors originate from. Is that
biblical account
originates from? Because Physical fire can contain all the primary colors. So if you read Genesis 1:3, God said, "Let there be light."
No,
Let there be
I'm not
the
going to
three
read.
primary
I'm not going
colours
to read
that originate
Genesis.
from
I'm not going to read
physical
Genesis. I'm not going to read Genesis because that has no substantiation in truth. But what I'm going to do is go to the science book, and argon, which is basically where fire and heat is come from. That's the components. It does not come from all prisms of the colors. So you're talking about a rainbow.
All it takes is one sentence to prove the God of the Bible and another sentence to prove God, or one word to prove God.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Already have.
Hold on. For the first time on the Atheist show, prove that God exists in physical form. Like you can mic up and say, hey, or you can call God on the phone, however you want to do it. But we might beat the atheist experience by having a Christian call on and say God exists. So let's do it.
There is one question. We have to make this first agreement first. So would you agree that absolute nothingness as an absolute starting point is impossible?
What is nothingness?
Absolute nothingness meaning zero particulars or no particulars.
So that means your God will come from nothing, right?
I said absolute starting point. You're not listening.
I am listening. I'm just saying, so your God is a starting point, right? So you're basically saying your God is nothing.
No, I said, would you agree? I'll have to repeat the question.
No, I understand your question. So I'm basically okay. So when you call an atheist show, you have to give us clarification. So we say absolute nothingness comes from the starting point is absolute nothingness. So God is nothingness, right? That's why I'm trying to clarify.
God has always existed, but for the sake of this discussion, I'll ask you a clarifying question. Would you agree that absolute nothingness as an absolute starting point is impossible?
No, but the reason why I'm saying it, like, okay, so when you're talking about that, you're saying that God is nothing. God is nothingness. God has to be physical. Hold on, check this out. God has to be physical in order to arbitrarily materialize a physical universe. So are you saying that God? Hold on.
No, that's not what he's saying. I'm trying to tell you what he's saying. He's saying that something cannot come from absolute nothingness. Is all he's saying.
I understand that, but I'm just trying
to. You can't have anything starting with absolute nothing. That's all he's saying. So he's not talking about physical or anything. He's saying that you can't have something starting at absolute nothing.
I think I agree with that part, but I don't see how you can jump from that to anything because of that. You know what I'm saying? Other than the universe must be eternal. That's where I would naturally conclude. But what's your next? If this is your syllogism, what's the next premise? Something can't come from nothing. Okay.
Yeah. Well, even if you say the universe, that's still like God. That's pantheism. Because once we come to the agreement that absolute nothingness,
that's not a God. Why do you want to put this word God on it? Because we find out anything that calls the universe, you're just going to call it God.
Once we come to the agreement that absolute nothingness as a starting point is impossible, all I have to do now is give you the definition for God, and that proves God. So for a particular to have always existed, to be omnipresent, omnipotent, to be the sustainer of stars, and functioning internally is a God, the God of the Bible.
That don't make no damn sense, bro. That's where you lose me at. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. But see, what he's doing is he's injecting a logical fallacy because he's assuming that what he calls God is a sustainer of life and all of these other different self-refuting properties. So you can't do that. I appreciate it. It was a good try, but you're going nowhere.
You defining your God into existence. You're just saying, well, my God is the thing that is this. But what you have to do is you have to show evidence for you. Just like I was telling the other guy. If I say, all right, buddy, I don't believe in our God then. If I say that I have a pet unicorn, you can't just...
Is English your first language?
No.
Well, then You're clearly not understanding the words coming out of my mouth, or you're just trolling.
So help me understand.
Would you agree for a particular to have always existed has to be everywhere by default?
No, I told you I don't agree with that.
If it's not everywhere, then you're going down an infinite regress. But God's infinite size debunks an infinite regress.
See, what you're doing is you're assuming that a God exists, and you're having a hard time understanding that your statement makes no sense, because there's a possibility that your God don't exist, and you got to consider that. You have to first consider the possibility before you can even grasp the concept of what I'm trying to say. I don't accept your claim that for something or particular to always exist, it has to be everywhere. Have you ever heard the metaphor about the cosmic egg, the atom that goes everywhere all the time and is not bound by time? So is one atom that's all the atoms in the universe. You ever heard that story before?
The God particle.
But the atom is three-dimensional, so it's finite in size, contingent on an infinite in size particular or property. And then not only that, you need the colors. You need the.
But see, listen, brother. This is what you have to understand. You cannot call that God and also call the God of the Bible that God. Do you see where you're jumping from? Because what you're talking about is a potential beginning and there being a mover or uncaused cause. But what you cannot do is call the stuff that's written in the Bible. That's not the same God, because the God of the Bible, once again, has self-contradictory ontological properties that God that you're talking about, which is the uncaused cause, does not have. It wouldn't apply to that.
Only a loving God can exist, and only the God of the Bible is loving.
So biblical
it don't matter what we say.
So how do you get out of the problem of evil then? Like that kills that right there. The problem of evil destroys that.
It's freedom of choice. God does not.
But how do you have freedom of choice with all-knowing God? If God is the author, say for instance, biblical account. If you're the author of a cartoon, you're drawing your cartoons out the way how you want the cartoon to finish. So if you're the author of Tom and Jerry, and you make it to where Tom catches Jerry, and you get surprised that Tom caught Jerry, was that your fault, or did Jerry violate your will? Because according to Ephesians 1:11, we are predestined to do the will of God. So if Hitler killed Jews, you know what I'm saying? Tupac got killed, Biggie got killed. Was that God's plan, or was there some niggas that was tripping? You know what I'm saying? Paul
analogy is faulty.
No, it's not faulty because
you don't have freedom of choice.
Wait a minute. No, because your God cannot be all-knowing. Your God cannot orchestrate free will when he knows everything that's going to happen before it happens. So it's not faulty, sir.
If you accept that our God is perfect by default, all your theological questions.
But hold on, but see, that's the fallacy, because you're assuming something. You can't assume these things. These have to be things that you can demonstrate. And your assumptions. Listen, bro. I've been listening to you. Your assumptions are not demonstrable. So when you say that, if you assume that God has to be loving, that's an assumption, because we can clearly point to the argument of evil. The problem of evil, and you can't get around that. So deal with the problem of evil, and then I'll assume.
Yeah, you know what? I noticed that the other what's name was kind of hard for him, so he had to switch to problem of evil. Not you, Qube, but thank you, Qube, for basically bringing that up, because that was actually where I was going. But Qube, thank you for bringing it up. Hey, Kweli, how long do we have, man, before we have to end the show?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling, bro. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. Okay, man. I would love to stay a little bit longer, but I'm gonna go ahead and get right out, man. I'm getting a little tired. So
Q, stay for 10 minutes, bro. Stay for 10 minutes. Stay for 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes dealing with this cat. I can handle him. Me and Kweli can handle him. Major Keys, you all right? Major Keys, you okay?
He on mute. He probably
right.
busy or something.
Okay, babe, you all right? You listening?
Yes, I'm listening.
All right. Go ahead, Q. It's on you.
Nah, I said what I had to say. Like, I want him to get around the problem of evil, and you can't do it telling me about some freedom
but you're
of choice.
interrupting.
No, he told me to repeat. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Biblical. Go ahead, Biblical.
The evidence for a loving God is that we are not in torment by default. So therefore, a hating God is a fallacy. So a loving God. So I'll break this down to simple terms. So a perfect God by default would love their entire self. Therefore, a loving God would be loving to their creation, and a loving God would reveal themselves to first man and woman, which he did with Adam and Eve, and he would provide optimum special revelation for humans because first man and woman failed in the Garden of Eden. So the logic
did God know they was going to fail?
Hold on.
They was going to fail?
Hold on. We got to deal with what he said. Let's deal with what he's saying exactly. So he's saying that a loving God wouldn't put us in torment by default. Well, I can name about 265 years of people who were in torment by default. So explain that to me. Like, yes, being slaves, like my ancestors were slaves, they were being in torment by default.
Torment equivalent to God's all-powerful nature.
Getting ripped in half, getting lynched, getting hanged. You know what I'm saying? Having an unfair trial. 2 boys, 2 15 and a 16-year-old boy get hung with no trial, no fairness because a white girl got killed.
You're missing the point.
No, I'm not missing the point. I'm illustrating reality, sir. Because if your God is orchestrating this shit in slavery, I don't want to worship that God. Give me one good reason why all of us black folks, I know you white, I'm sorry, and it's not a race thing, but give us all of one reason why all of us black folks on this panel should worship your God.
We are living in God's reality, and to address the problem of evil, the torment, is that torment is in reference to the lack of fire. Or in this context, it's in relation to God's omnipotence. Because we don't have an omnibenevolent God, this puts you back to a loving God, a benevolent God.
Wait. You said we don't have an omnibenevolent God?
No, he said malevolence. He said
malevolent. Okay, I thought he said benevolent. I'm like, wait a minute. You just said he was a loving God, but now you say he's not.
Because once again, what you keep doing, you keep assuming this reality of God. So you're saying that torment to God would be the lake of fire. There is no evidence of the lake of fire. This is something that you're making up. So what you would have to do is use our shared reality that me and you both share. And in that shared reality, torment was slavery. So there's no getting around that. I'm sorry, but there's no way getting around it. That is torment.
Of the lack of fire is in the Bible.
You can use the same doctrine against him by saying what I said, an hour ago. The doctrine says it itself, bruh. It is no denying this. God damn it. The Bible says the devil doesn't do anything without God's permission. Do I have to use big words? Do I have to have a fucking English accent for motherfucker to understand what I'm trying to say? Like this dude, I'm talking like a country ass motherfucker, and it kills.
I'm from the country too. I'm from Texas. I'm right here in Fort Worth.
Right.
Yeah, but nobody believes in the devil. We don't believe in the devil, so why would we use that to talk to him? We don't believe in the devil.
No, Q. That's the Christian talking point. You know that, Q.
You got to use the doctrine against their own.
Because that's all they want to hear.
You look.
No, I don't. Listen. I'd rather not use the doctrine. I'd rather use our shared reality. We have a shared reality.
I feel you. But what I'm saying
is they don't use reality though. They only deal with the doctrine. They only deal with the Bible. So you got to use the Bible to show them that it's bullshit.
But guess what? This is the shared reality, because all this does is come back around to what is reality. What is reality is I am God and I am the devil at the same time. I have both of them in me. The basic understanding. Even if, like I say, fuck the religious perspective, but I can still at the same time look at it as a reality, as far as I do have both energies, positive and negative, in me, and which one will conquer each other? Which one would I let be the majority inside of me? The negative or the positive?
All right, listen. This is why we can't use that.
Let me finish. I ain't saying nothing in a while. Let me get this out. All I'm saying is, bro, you can't keep playing these games along with these religious people. Kill it. Be the bigger person. Be the graduate. Talk like a graduate. You can't use these terms. You can't use these ideologies. That
like Ray Hagan said, you saying the same thing Ray Hagan said. You don't go in as an English teacher talking to a third grade class,
bruh. Yeah. And y'all just going in circles. What I'm saying is, I said an hour ago. I said it an hour ago that, bruh, the devil is on God's payroll. It's basically, in layman's terms, they're one and the same. But you got to be a graduate.
I agree.
But you got to be a graduate to understand that. And once you graduate, you got to talk like you graduated. Don't let nobody bring you down to a third grade status of understanding. You know
now watch this though. In that spirit, since y'all like to use that word, in the spirit of being a graduate, I hate to no, I don't hate it. I like doing it, but it makes people hate me when I burst their bubble. But for y'all Christians out there, the only reason that y'all have this concept of good and evil and there being this battle of good versus evil is because your religion is an offshoot of older religions, and that battle between good and evil started in Zoroastrianism. So you really got Zoroastrian concepts in your religion, but you probably never even heard of that word because y'all don't deal with history and science. Y'all only deal with what preacher man told you and what your mom and daddy told you. But go and study Zoroastrianism and how Christianity evolved from all of these other polytheistic religions and then became what it is today. And then that'll shine some light on why we don't believe that bullshit.
And see, Kweli, that was my fault, you know what I'm saying, dealing with my wife. That was my fault, babe. I should have told you about Zoroastrianism, because when you look at Zoroaster, he looks just like Jesus Christ. And that existed 2,500 years before Jesus was even conceptualized in a man's mental state. So if you're willing to be open, I know that you a PK, you're a preacher's kid or whatever, and I love you to death. But the thing is, the religion of heaven and hell comes from Zoroastrianism. And the flood story comes from Asher. Now, only thing I showed now, Kweli. Only thing I showed. Hold on. Let me finish talking to Kweli. Kweli, the only thing I showed her was a Ray Hagan's video, and she agreed with there will be no rapture and Jesus ain't coming back. Now she don't believe that the Bible is totally 100% true. But the thing is, I didn't really teach her about Zoroastrianism and Asher.
It's a video on my channel. What is Christianity, and it'll tell you all about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna show her that video.
Yeah, I want to go.
Look, one thing about my old lady. Let me finish. One thing about my old lady, she's very open-minded, and I know she love me, man. She's very open-minded. You know what I'm saying? And she wants to learn. She likes to learn new things. So that's one thing I should have told her instead of just showing her basic Ray Hagan's video. But Ray Hagan's telling the truth too. So go ahead. Who was talking? I don't want to.
Yeah. I just want to go through the problem of evil with biblical account, and it'll be brief. Because
then I'll say one thing and then I'll just plug in something and then I'll go.
Plug in what?
So, well, my other YouTube channel, Biblical Accounts, FTW. So what's your question about the problem of evil?
Hey, before you get into that, man, go to the back chat and put your link in there, bro. We'll come over there. I'll come over there. Plug your link into the back chat. Just go to the where it says chat and plug your link. I'll go over there. I know Kweli probably finna go to bed though. I'll go over there.
I'll be doing a live show over there, Biblical Account?
Yeah, he doing a live show.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I just want to go through the problem of evil really quick. I'm sure you're aware of it. So premise one, if God exists, then God is omnipotent, omniscient, and morally perfect. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, premise two, if God is omnipotent, then God has the power to eliminate all evil. Would you agree with that?
He can, but he doesn't have to.
Whoa. I'm asking you, do you agree with it? If God is omnipotent, then God has the power to eliminate all evil.
He can, but he doesn't have to do it now. It will happen.
Brother, relax. Listen, you don't have to panic. All you have to do is go through this with me. It's okay. I'm not talking about future or anything. I'm talking about.
I'm refuting your premise.
I'm asking you, does God have the power to eliminate all evil? I'm not talking about does he have a choice. I'm asking you, does he have the power to do it? Yes or no?
Yes, he has the power to do it.
Okay,
he will do it in the future.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. So now, if God is omniscient, then God knows when evil exists. Do you agree with that?
If God, hang on, say that again.
If God is omniscient, is English your first language?
I just repeated. I missed what you said.
No, okay. So if God is omniscient, then God knows when evil exists.
So I missed that. There's a bit of background noise. You say when or if?
If God is omniscient, then God knows when evil exists.
When evil exists. Sure.
Okay. So if God is morally perfect, then God has the desire to eliminate all evil. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, does evil exist?
Yes.
Okay, great. So if evil exists and God exists, then either God doesn't have the power to eliminate all evil, or doesn't know when evil exists, or doesn't have the desire to eliminate all evil. Therefore, your God doesn't exist. There's no way around it.
Yes, there is. God is loving, so he gives everybody a chance, and he will destroy evil in the lake of fire.
Wait a minute. So, have you read Ephesians 45?
I've got to go. I've got to go.
No, wait. One question before you get to your channel. Have you read Isaiah 45?
I'm not doing a live chat. I've got to go. God bless you all.
You are fucking stupid, biblical account. You fucking stupid. Hey.
I was going to get him with Isaiah 45, verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace, and I creator of the Lord thy God do all these things.
Bro, listen. I just want to say this. Y'all can kick me off too. Talking to Christians is like talking to NASA motherfuckers, bro. At the end of the day, NASA just have y'all. Now some believers just got way more indoctrination and more tools to.
So you're a flat earther,
bro? Ain't no bro. Fuck it, bro. I'm beyond that. This shit is beyond flat earth. And look, this shit. I promise y'all, it's beyond that flat earth, because it's like you won't even get into. You won't even start tapping into the
major.
Let me just say this last part. Wait, Kweli. I promise. Give me 10 seconds, bro. You won't even tap into electromagneticism and the next level, like the where we supposed to go as a rate, like as a people, not even just black folk or niggas. I'm talking about the whole humanity. Like, bro, we all are finna go into quantum shit, electromagneticism, and I'm telling you, that is a reality that doesn't require gravity or anything NASA's about.
This is what I want you to do something for me, Major, because
I'm not even an expert at the shit.
It's all good. I want you to do something for me though, because I get the sentiment from a few people. I can't say a lot. It's a popular belief or stance that you have. But what I want you to do, and please agree to do it.
You know it's a popular belief, bro. You just said it. You said it's a popular belief.
It's also a popular
y'all
belief.
Niggas bullshit.
Bro, check this out. Listen, bro. Listen. Mormonism is a popular belief. All right, Buddhism is a popular belief. Islam is a popular belief. Christianity is a popular belief. I don't believe in none of that shit. Just because it's popular don't mean it's true. That's a fallacy. All right. So I'm saying you're not the only person who. I don't think you're crazy. Is what I'm saying. All right.
This is appeals of popularity.
What I want you to do for me though, Major. What I want you to do is put together a presentation because I want evidence for what you're saying because you're making a lot of claims and you're denouncing a lot of stuff that people have made claims. So what I want you to do is put together a package and basically the gist of that package, or it could be a video, audio, a bunch of articles that you put together. But basically, I want you to show me how you come to the conclusion that NASA is a fake organization, and like show me your evidence for this stuff. You know what I mean? And like if you can convince me, bro, I will start preaching that shit to the rooftops. But all I'm saying is I have not seen any evidence of what you're talking about. Zero. But I want you to show me some evidence for it, and I will give you the whole platform, just like we're doing right now. I stream the live, and it'll be you got the floor, and you can share your screen and show us what you're talking about.
I'll be in the comments. I won't give you on the show. I promise you, Major. If you can put together that what he just said, I will not be in the show. I'll be in the comments.
Yeah, you sound like you underwater, Kwame.
It's the moon face.
You sound like you underwater, Kwame.
Yeah. You got a mic problem. So what's up, Major? Does that sound like something you interested in, Major?
I want to say yes, but I just I look. The only reservation that I have, the only reason why I would say, man, hell, fuck no. I would say the information is out here. That's all. But if y'all would prefer. Major,
this is
let me just say that part. If y'all would prefer Major Keys to do it, I would have to accept that task. If y'all would say drill, my fault. If y'all would say Major, we're not gonna look it up for ourselves. We want you to present it to us.
What I'm saying is I looked it up, you know what I mean, and I believe I've seen the evidence that you want me to see already, and I wasn't convinced by it. So what I want you to do is give me what convinced you, like you know what I'm saying, whatever it is that convinces you, and then show me in a way that you think will convince me. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna ask you questions because I'm probably gonna disagree with what you show me, and then I'm gonna say, well, what about this and what about that? And at the end of the show, either I'm gonna change my mind, or you're gonna change your mind, or we're gonna agree to disagree. But it's better if you know what I mean. If one of us,
I tell you, one of those is impossible. Look, one of those options are impossible.
Because you're closed-minded. Is it because you're closed-minded?
I never change my mind on that too.
Oh, that's not what you want to say, bro. That's not what you.
I'm keeping it funky. I'm keeping it funky.
So if you find out that your mama named you a different name than what she told you your name was, you're gonna say, "Oh, that's not true. I believe my mama, even though you've been proven." Like you saying, in the face of evidence, I'm still gonna believe what I want to. I'm
gonna give you a better analogy, and it's a simple analogy. It's not even a real analogy. I'm not finna let you make me dumber. I'm talking about the future. When I say,
how can anybody make you?
I'm talking about look. I'm talking, and the future really is the ancient future. I'm talking about the ancient future. But y'all look, the shit y'all presenting is stagnation. It's stagnant. It's not. It's not going to take us. Look, it's not going to take us. Look, it's not going to make us smarter. Look, I promise you. Listen. It's not going to make us smarter. What y'all trying to keep me on. That's why I know it's impossible for you to make me wrong, because the shit I'm trying to put y'all on is some smart shit. Look, the shit I'm trying to put you on is some smart nigga shit. Y'all won't listen.
Brother Sanchez is smart.
Bro, hold on, time out, bro. I just asked you to come and present to us. It would sound like I'm trying to convince you of anything. I'm asking you.
I will.
I listened to you for 2 hours, dog. And you can pick the date. I ain't gonna put no stipulations on it. I'm gonna give you the platform. Because I want to see the evidence.
I accept because it feel like I got to. God damn, I got to.
And Major Keys, before you finish, put it in the back chat for my brother Kweli Kush, so we can basically get the emails and stuff together, and we'll do it this weekend. We'll do it for Sunday. Hey, Kweli, you good with doing it this Sunday? If he's prepared.
Y'all got something set up on Sunday, don't y'all?
No. We'll let you have the flow on Sunday. If Kweli's okay, he's the owner of the show.
It's up to Major. Whenever he want to do it, you let me know, and I'll tell you if I'm available.
I'm free Sunday. I'm free
Well, hold on.
Sunday.
Didn't we have a debate scheduled on Sunday?
Well, I couldn't.
Or was that Monday?
On the 27th, I already know what you're talking about. Let's reschedule because I want to bring the man that you misquoted onto the platform. He's not going to debate you, but he's going to tell you that you misquoted him. I talked to him. I told Kweli Kush I had talked to him.
Who did I misquote? Who did I misquote?
You misquoted Jabari on what he said about the higher power, but we'll talk about that another time. But this right here is the entry Major Keys. We're gonna let Major Keys have the floor.
So y'all want to reschedule
let's reschedule because Brother Jabari wants to come on. I talked to Brother Jabari and Garfield. You might text you. I said I talked to Brother Garfield.
Yeah.
And then Brother Jabari came on. So Brother Jabari wants to actually be on. He's not going to debate you, Q. I'm debating you, but he wants to tell you how you misquoted him.
So why do we have to reschedule just because he wants to come on and say a few words? Like,
because he's busy that day.
So you don't want to debate me until he says this thing?
Yes, he has a lecture. I don't want to bring him on to prove that you misquoted him. But yeah, I got my shit already prepared. I'm already ready to go.
But you do understand that I don't care about Jabari or necessarily what he said. We're debating something different.
Apparently you do because you said that he said he believes in a higher power. But I'm gonna let him explain it because I don't want to.
But that's not our debate, bro.
That is our debate about a higher power. That is our debate because you brought up Jabari and we talking about higher power. You brought up Jabari, so I'm gonna bring Jabari in. I wasn't trying to bring up.
Do you remember the title of our debate?
I wasn't trying to bring up anybody.
Do you remember the title of our debate?
Because I said I follow comedic spiritual. I follow Qube. So that's why.
Do you remember the title of our debate?
I studied under Jabari and I studied in Fudeji. I did not make any claims that they made. I'm just saying I studied under, but you said, well, Jabari said he believes in a higher power. So I basically addressed Jabari about what he said about the higher power. I'm not going to say it right here, but he will say it when we have the debate. He's busy on the 27th. I can bring him in, and once he says, hey, Kwame, I'm ready to go. He's not going to debate you or anything. He might ask you a few questions, but he's not debating. I'm debating you. That's the only issue.
Do you remember the title of our debate?
Yeah, do the Africans believe in God? Basically, a higher power.
What?
Yeah.
No, that's not our debate, man.
What is our debate then? Because I thought it was about Africans because I didn't care about what other people believe. I cared about what Africans believe. Well, the ancient Egyptians. Ain't Egypt in Africa, right?
Brother, we have a specific title for our debate. If you don't know or you're not prepared, just say that's the reason.
Did the ancient Egyptians believe in a God? Right?
No, that's not our debate. Our debate.
I thought that's what it was, man.
No, listen, I wrote it down.
It don't matter what you change it to. I'm still bringing Brother Jabari on.
Brother, I don't even understand what's going on. Like, are we having a debate, or do you want to bring him on before the debate? Like, what are you talking about?
I'm bringing him on before the debate, at the debate, to let him so he can tell you that you misquoted him. He wants to know who misquoted him.
But how is that pertinent to our debate? I don't get where you're going with this.
No, you're talking about you're talking about Brother Jabari as an individual. So Brother Jabari want to kind of set you straight, and then our debate is going to be on whether the Africans believe in the God or not. Which were Egyptians, which were the N.E.W, all this stuff. So I thought
Jabari is not about. Brother Jabari is not about to set me straight on anything. That's number one. And number two, I'm not sure
I think Brother Jabari. I think your brother. Okay, so if you tell me that
Jabari ain't shit.
If Kweli tells me, hey, I believe I'm 7 feet tall, and I say, and you tell me Kweli didn't say he's 7 feet tall, he said it this way. So I'm going to bring the person that claimed that he's 7 feet tall, that's probably 7 feet tall, to basically set you straight.
But what pertinence does that have with our debate? I don't get it.
Because, and I can kind of agree with Kweli what Dr. Reggie was saying. They don't want to name themselves atheists, but they do not believe in a God. So that's
what does he? Okay, brother, what does he have to do with our debate?
No, because you brought Jabari up, and you're claiming that my comedic teacher says he believes in a higher power.
But so what, though? Who cares?
All right, man. Major keys.
Okay, so I have a question.
All right,
I have a question.
Hey, you my brother. I love you, man. But
Bro, I'm seriously confused. Like, I'm just confused as to what he has to do with our debate. Is that something? I'm not understanding that.
Then I say I was gonna bring Brother Jabbar. I'm gonna get in touch with him. I got in touch with Garfield. Garfield and Jabbar is gonna come on the show together. But they're not gonna debate you. They're gonna basically say, "Hey, this is what we mean by what you claim that we said." That's all they're gonna do. But
let's just
I'm gonna get into the evidence that Africans never believe in God.
Let's
start a debate and then bring Jabari on to try to correct me. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
I was saying let's talk about it off the air because it don't sound like y'all getting nowhere, and I don't really understand.
All right. So last question: are we rescheduling or not? That's
yes, we're rescheduling. We are rescheduling because number one, that's nothing I want to tell Kweli that Jabari needs to reschedule because he got a class. So he has a class on that day anyway. Now I'm glad you came on, but we got so back to the conversation. I didn't get a chance to tell you. I'm telling you now, which is perfect for Major Keys to come onto the show Sunday to present his evidence for I guess a flat earth, or he's saying that something, you know.
I mean, I'm also want to hear about the NASA stuff, like the NASA
stuff. Yeah.
The NASA part.
Well, let me say this and I'm gonna be out, man.
That's the easiest part.
Hold on. Go ahead, Q.
Yeah, let me just say this. I'm gonna be out, man. Let me pull this back up. My bad. So yeah, what I was trying to do with biblical, I forget his name, biblical FTW. I was just trying to show him that when it comes to the problem of evil, you can literally show how that his God can't be morally perfect or all loving as he claimed, and that's what I was attempting. Yeah, that's what I was attempting.
Okay, I'm sorry. So you're the one I have a question for, because I was just about to ask which one of you was talking to biblical account about if God wants to eliminate evil, why doesn't he? That was you, correct?
Right.
Okay, so you know what? I actually gave your question some thought because it made a whole lot of sense, everything that you were saying. And so what I came up with is, I think that the reason why evil exists is because humans exist, because of the choices that we make. Like we just do evil things. So I think in order for God to eliminate evil, he would either have to take away our free will or just eliminate human beings altogether. Even if God took away our free will, bad things would still happen, such as babies being born dead or babies being born with Down syndrome, or just all these baffling deformities. So I guess to really get rid of, evil in general, it would be, for him to just eliminate humanity.
So that means
that's beautiful thinking right there.
So that means that God created evil. What the hell is wrong with us that we won't accept? We won't understand that part. God created humanity. Even if I follow what sister just said, which I don't disagree with what she said, but it still leads us to the same conclusion. Come on, nah, goddamn.
No. It leads us to the conclusion that a God doesn't exist, brother.
If she said, no. What I'm saying is, of course, we're gonna end up back with where y'all at. But what I'm trying to say is the cancel out. We gotta still allow it to cancel each other out. God created evil. All right, that's gonna help us talk to these people. Even for y'all atheists, that's a strong talking point for y'all to use. I digress.
I don't think God created evil. I think human beings choose to do evil things.
It's a chapter. I forget the exact chapter and verse, but it says in your Bible.
Isaiah 45 verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and I create evil. I, the Lord thy God, do all these things. So if that's the word of God in Isaiah, then that should let you know, babe, that God creates evil.
As I said before, I know that there's a lot of things in the Bible that have been added in and taken out, and that could very well be one of them. I really don't.
So you might as well just throw away the whole book then, because you don't know what's real and what's added, what's not. So we can't use the Bible. I agree with you. The Bible is full. It's like toilet paper. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's
And
sad.
if you can't use the Bible, look, if you take away the doctrine, look, we are adults. Children are looking at us. The teenagers are looking at us. Let's stop playing. If we take away the doctrine, there is no religion. Let's stop playing. Without that book, there is no Christianity. It's just a bunch of adults that's stubborn and don't want to listen and don't want to grow. With all due respect and with as much love, my mama and my daddy are preachers. You hear me? So if I'm telling this to them, I can't take more mercy on the next person. You know what I'm saying? With all love, no disrespect. Without the book, there is no religion.
Well, I disagree with that, because before the book, there was still religion. It was just oral. So I get what you're trying to say.
You keeping it alive, Qube. You keeping it alive, then, bro. You perpetuating the bullshit.
Brother, no, I'm just being as logical as possible. And
Kwame, your mic distorted, bro. We can't hear you.
Okay. No, I was saying, can you hear me now?
Y'all gotta be killers. Y'all want to be atheists? You gotta be killers. Y'all not killers yet. Y'all ain't killers.
It ain't about what I want to be. It's about what the evidence led me to. So first of all, my approach to atheism, I don't believe in that. I feel you that we got to do certain stuff, but I don't think one person is going to be the answer for what the culture need. We need a lot of different people. We need some people that's giving it the soft approach, like Anthony Magnabosco, who just stand on the corner and talk real soft to people all the time and go, yeah, you can believe whatever you want to believe, but I don't think there's no God and all that stuff. And then you need some people who just like, nigga, there ain't no fucking God. What are you doing? Are you stupid? You need all that stuff. But you know what I mean? What I like to do is like,
ain't no goddamn boogeyman under your bed. That's basically what we saying.
You know what I mean?
That's
so
basically what me and Kweli. That's basically what me and Kweli saying. Ain't no goddamn boogeyman under your bed.
I think that's the best way to illustrate to people that something that they believe in is not true. Because the person that you're talking to, you probably got like a 1% chance of convincing them to change their mind, but it's all about the people that's listening. So the people that's on the fence, or the people that might have came into the stream thinking that they knew what they was talking about, and then they hear me ask some questions that they never heard before. So that's why I always just say, well, okay, what do you believe in? And then I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna go off of what you say and say, well, okay, if that's true, then what about this? What about that? And when you can't answer the question, or you give me a dumb answer to the question, you might not leave here with a changed mind, but the people hear you and they see, oh, he can't answer that question. So it's like, damn, I can't answer that question either. And like I say all the time, I was 27 years old the first time I ever asked the question, is it possible that God don't exist? And I was mad at myself for never asking the question. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then like after I asked myself the question, I answered so many other questions. Well, that explains the problem with evil. That explains why we ain't never seen this motherfucker. That explains all these different. It explains so much if you just accept the possibility that there ain't no God.
But have you ever asked? Look, this is really.
Well, let me say this, because I was trying to get up out of here. I was just trying to leave. I just wanted to get my. I was in the middle of like getting my.
Let Qube get it in. Let Qube get it in. Then we're gonna let him go.
Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, it don't take that long. But I was just trying to say that, you know, what I was trying to tell biblical account, and you know, every atheist should use the problem of evil, because once you take them down these premises, they're going to agree with 1 through 5, and then 6 and 7 is where it becomes self-refuting. And even if you say something like the sister said, well, this is something that humans do. Well, if God is morally perfect, then he should be determined to eliminate all evil, which means he should be eliminating humans. So there's literally no way away from this. You can't get away from it. But thank you for that. And I want to say, man, thanks you guys for allowing me on. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the platform. And
anytime, Q.
This type of atheism is good. I'm not even gonna say, you know what I'm saying, like I got a problem with it at all. I love to come in and challenge the brothers, you know what I'm saying, because we are on the same team, believe it or not. But when it comes to the burden of proof, I think that atheists do have the burden of proof, as well as theists have the burden of proof. But that's just from my point of view. But hey, thanks again, guys. I appreciate it, man. And send me an email so we could try to figure out some time.
Let me back check. Let me back check you real quick. Where you at? Okay, my email. Hold on, let me back check you real quick. That's my back chat. Hey, check the back chat. That's my email.
You put your email back there, Qube?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see his. I'm about to put mine back there right now. Appreciate it, guys. You guys have a good night.
I'm a copy and paste.
To the sister too.
All right, go ahead, man.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Hey, Kwame.
Thank y'all, man.
Kwame, what month you born, Kwame?
June. My birthday was 4 days ago. June 21st. I'm a Cancer.
You just turned what?
37. What? And my wife, she's 31. What? My wife is 31. Yeah.
My nigga 37. That was a happy birthday, boss.
Appreciate it.
Happy born day, should I say? My bad.
Born day, yeah. It's live day. I call it my live day.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wanted to say this though. I wanted to ask this. Hey, so atheists, do y'all subscribe to the ancestors, the ancestral spirit?
I subscribe to the ancestors as far as their teachings, but not their spirit, because I don't have evidence for a spirit, but I do subscribe to the teachings.
I must reiterate yet again, atheism is not a cabal. There is no central doctrine of atheism. So every atheist, you're going to have to ask that question to it. You can't say, as an atheist, do you this? Atheism only refers to one topic. Do you believe in a God? And once you start talking about all other stuff, you ain't talking about atheism no more. Now you're getting personal. So as an atheist, I don't believe in a God. Now, as a human being, do I subscribe to the ancestors and what they taught? No, I admire the ancestors because I believe that Africa had some of the greatest civilizations. And when you study the ancient African history, it shit is fascinating. And I'm a big nerd. It interests me. So I'm more fascinated with it more so than I say I'm a believer. And I don't think that the stuff was real. I know that there's some stuff that they used to do that I consider a waste of time. But I look at it as something that like if you're gonna admire a nigga for wearing a big chain, hell, the Africans had the biggest chains back then. You know what I'm saying? They had that chain so big they had to have a weight on the back of it to keep it from falling. So you don't see or talk to great grandmama or great granddaddy.
No.
If they're alive, I absolutely do, but not if they did. I don't believe in I don't believe in spirits and ghosts and all that stuff. I think that's all imaginary.
Hey, Kweli, let me reiterate, because I think I kind of put him in the realm that I do believe that what our ancestors was doing, like the voodoo and all that stuff, was real. I don't. But one thing I do take from my ancestors that's basically prevalent to my life and to my family is means balance, order, truth, reciprocity. That's the only thing I follow. But as far as like cutting heads off chickens, building an altar and all this other shit, I don't do that. My wife tell you right now, I ain't got no fucking altar in my house. What am I gonna need that for?
It's kind of extreme. Look, it's kind of extreme. I feel you,
but that's the thing. But that's the thing. I don't subscribe to that. I'm still an atheist. But the thing I do follow is basically moral principles, which comes from African people, not Europeans. And when Europeans say that their biblical narrative has good morality, they have the best moral barometer. But ain't nobody out killing homosexuals, stoning their kids, killing people because they don't believe in God, and have a golden calf and an idol and all this other shit. Is that moral? Hell no. And I asked the Hebrew Israelites, why y'all not killing people that work on a Sunday? Why y'all going to McDonald's to order food instead of going in there killing people? Why y'all gotta order some damn hash browns with McMuffins and shit? But ain't no Hebrew Israelite killing nobody.
Look,
yeah, let me get a number 5, on Sunday, you know what I'm saying, or Saturday, whatever the fuck they do. Shit. Go ahead.
I leave y'all brothers with this. I know it's getting kind of late.
Yeah, we got to shut the show down, man. It is, man. We in overtime, like, for real.
Yeah, I see. And I look. I just want to share this last story with y'all. My grandmother, this is back in like 2007, right? and I'm just gonna leave this with y'all. The story. I was back in 2007, and my grandmother, she had a big impact on my life, big influence on my life, right? And I was in Tallahassee. I was living in Tallahassee at the time, and I was in transition, so I was at my homeboy crib, sleeping on the floor. I had a little in the living room, getting ready to move into my own crib. But look, that night, y'all, no lie, it was about like 3:00 in the morning. I'm sleeping on the floor, and I feel something playing with my feet. Like, I ain't crazy. I don't have many illusions or nothing like that.
Hey, Major, hold on. I want you to keep going. I just want to stop you right there because I say this all the time. Whenever somebody go into a story about some ghosts and stuff, they always sleeping, waking up, or about to go to sleep. It's called sleep paralysis. Look it up. But go ahead, finish your story, big bro.
All right. It's about 3:00 in the morning, and I feel something moving. It woke me up in my sleep. I felt something moving down there by my feet, and I try to ignore it, but that shit still messing with my feet. So I get up off the floor. I turn the light on. I check, we see what time it is. About 3-something in the morning. I'm like, shit. I get up, check, it ain't nothing. Man, that shit was real as a motherfucker, right? So then I lay back down, and about a couple hours later, it's about 5-something. Shit started messing with my feet. Like, my feet felt like literally real, like somebody real. This ain't never happened before or after. And something was messing with my feet. Felt like a snake or some shit. I get up again, and I check down there where my feet was. It was nothing. So I try to lay back down. I get a call about 30-45 minutes later from my mom. And she tell me, your grandmama just passed last night. And of course, I was a little overwhelmed. I was heartbroken, hurt. And it took me maybe 15 minutes to think about it, about the me getting up that morning. I mean, what happened to me early that morning. It took about 15 minutes. I'm like, see, my grandmother always used to have me rub her feet. My grandmother always had me rub her feet. She always, when I was a kid, she used to promise me, like, I'm gonna give you $200 if you rub your grandmother's feet. You know what I'm saying? And I like, all right, grandma.
Damn, $200?
I know it was a lie. You know what I'm saying? I knew she was just fucking around, but I did it anyway. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna rub your feet, grandma. And she had, look, that $200 promise had me rubbing her feet for like 30 minutes. 45 minutes. I'm nigga tired. All I'm saying is me rubbing her feet was a big thing of me growing up. She always requested that. And the day that I found out grandma passed, it hit me that morning. She down there messing with my damn feet, bro. You know what I'm saying? And
can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Do you know that was your grandma touching your feet?
Bruh, I'm telling you, in my mind, and I take this however it comes, when it comes to talking to the next man or the next brother, sister, family member, I take it. Whatever you got to say afterwards. Brother, I know beyond a shadow of doubt, my grandmama was up in the mess with my feet. Ain't nothing you can say, my nigga. It ain't nothing you can say.
I would just say, cause I deal with stuff like this a lot. You know what I mean? I have lucid dreams, and I had sleep paralysis. So the first time I had it scared the shit out of me, dog. The most terrifying thing I ever experienced when I had sleep paralysis for the first time. Scared the living shit out of me. And I was in the house by myself. And it was the middle of winter, so I had two choices. I had to leave and freeze outside, or I had to stay in the house, where I literally thought it was a ghost in the house. You know what I'm saying? So I was scared out of my mind. But then I looked up sleep paralysis, and I realized what was happening to me. And I said, "Oh damn, I'm tripping, right?" Because this is a common occurrence that happens when people go to sleep. They hallucinate. You know, your body it releases a chemical that makes it hard for you to move. And a lot of times, people feel things. I've experienced it. So let me tell you firsthand, I know what you mean when you say that shit was real. I've been there, bro. And the shit seemed just as real as anything else. When you hallucinate and that shit look and sound real, you can feel shit and all that.
Listen.
But hold on.
You ever heard of
hold on, because the only reason I say, because I'm gonna forget what I want to say. I want to lose my train of thought. But when you have these experiences, what you have to consider is that I ain't saying that is not your grandma. I don't personally believe that, but I'm not making a positive claim that it's not. All I'm saying is we have to consider all of the possibilities. So when you tell me that was your grandma, all I'm thinking of is either this is the first time that anybody's ever proven that a spirit is real and it is verified, and this is history right here, or this is one of many other cases where people have mistakenly thought that this was some type of spirit, and knowing that that this happens a lot on one side and never happened on the other side, I'm thinking it's more likely that this is one of those mistaken cases. And then you got to consider the fact that, okay, how often does this happen? How often do people have these types of experiences? And then you got to weigh that with the probability of people losing someone close to them. So then you got to say, what's the likelihood of these two events happening simultaneously? Of somebody losing someone close to them and then having a paranormal experience related to something that's related to the person that they lost, like you and your grandmother's rubbing of her feet, for example. It might be a rare occurrence, but when you live in a world with 7 billion people, it's a whole lot of space and opportunity. Rare things happen all the time. 1 in a million things ain't shit when you got 7 billion things. That shit happen every day, all day. 1 in a million things. Bro, so that's all I'm saying.
It never happened before. Look, I hear you, everything you say, bro. I can assess everything you just said, and I receive everything you just said, Kweli. No bullshit. All I'm saying is, it's a lot of people on this earth don't believe in coincidence. You know what I'm saying? If y'all are atheists, I don't think y'all believe in coincidence. Y'all shouldn't, basically, right? So
no, actually, it's not necessarily coincidence. We don't believe in miracles. That's the thing. Like, people kind of conflate miracles with coincidence. Like, say for instance, like, I am not gonna lie, my baby, she in the kitchen right now. She think that because, babe, I love you. All right, just know that. She think because the doctor's office called her, said she needed a job, that was God. I said, no, baby, it was coincidence because you had another job lined up paying you. Blah blah blah. I said, yeah. So that's not a miracle, baby. That's kind of coincidental that it happened. It wasn't God. You know, it's not
like, all the time when you dealing with the numbers that we dealing with in the universe don't do things in ones and twos. They do things in billions and trillions. So it's almost inevitable that rare things will happen, like the formation of life from non-life, and just wild coincidences. Like, it ain't a matter of belief. Coincidences happen. Like, how many times?
Coincidence is belief, bro. Look, coincidence is belief, bro. That's why I say y'all shouldn't believe in coincidence, because that is belief. But look, let me just finish this because what's, if y'all understand, what is the opposite of coincidence? Do y'all know?
Incidents.
All right. If you say that, okay, that means
coincide.
That's all coincidence is two things that are related, that seem to be related, happening in a short amount of time. So we relate it because they happen in a short amount of time, but it's the time that makes them significant. If they don't have a short amount of time, you don't relate them.
Everything.
Okay, let's deal with super chat. Hold on, my brother. We gotta acknowledge. Hey, Danielle Ward 77. Thanks for supporting our show. Danielle said you was half sleep, Major, half dream. You have never experienced like that while you was awake, wide awake. Why would she mess with your feet, which is vague sign, instead of showing herself? That's coming from our supporter.
I seen that, brother. I just wanted to, all I wanted to say was this. As the exact same question was, why would she mess with my feet? I would say, I would answer that question with a question. Why would that happen before I even found out she passed? That's the big point.
That's why I brought up the notion of how often does this happen, and how often do people lose somebody close to them? See, you had two unlikely events happen at the same time. You lost somebody close to you, and you had a paranormal experience that seemed like it was related.
Which one came first?
Hey, but Major, let me tell you something, man. 2008, June 3rd, man. And I don't like talking about it because it makes me emotional. My 2-year-old daughter passed away, and I was still a believer. So, and I'm not saying that you are a believer. So when my parents came to Houston and got me and brought me back to Nacogdoches, Texas, and they had went to Tyler and they left me at the house by myself. So in the midst of me sleeping, having a lucid dream, I felt like my daughter was running around the house and I was chasing her, and I heard a door slam. But come to find out, it was nothing there. I don't know what it was, but now that I still think about this as an atheist. I'm like, what was that made the door slam? You know what I'm saying? But the door didn't slam. It was never open. I just thought it slammed. Cause when I got up, I do remember me shutting the door because nobody else was in the house. I remember shutting all the doors in the house. You know what I'm saying? Except for the bathroom door, but the bathroom door was still open. So if my daughter was running around the house, my deceased daughter was running around, why would she open my door to my room and slam the door, but not slam the bathroom door? That lets me know that it was just a dream that I was having.
But I guess what I'm trying to get at, bro, is that all right? I'm with y'all when it comes. Look, I'm with y'all 1,000%. When it comes to, I don't subscribe to religion and the God that we have been taught. You know what I'm saying? The exterior God. You hear me? But when it comes to the interior, well, look, I think y'all look at me because I'm willing to accept interior. Look. Just because I'm willing to accept the interior God is because I know the greatness and there is still a supernatural to this world that is hidden, and only the select, only a chosen few are able to even tap in to the supernatural of this world. Now, that doesn't mean I'm caught up in the religious Christian or Islam or Judaism God. But what I'm trying to tell y'all, they got it from somewhere, and there are a lot of mysterious things. Look, I don't care about what y'all say. Y'all may not accept this until y'all are older in age. Older. You know what I'm saying? Maybe y'all won't accept it. Y'all older in age. But there are mysterious things about the world we live in, and there are supernatural, not just natural, supernatural things that occur here that y'all.
What is supernatural? What does it mean by supernatural?
Exactly.
What does that mean?
What I'm saying is, I know that like I say, this never happened to me before. It hasn't happened to me afterwards. You hear me? My grandmother had a strong connection to me. I'm her firstborn grandchild. You know what I'm saying? Out of her 5 kids, I'm her firstborn grandchild, and she had a strong love for me. What I'm saying is,
no, I don't mean to interrupt you, Major.
Let me finish, boss. 20 seconds, bro. She came and visited me that night, that morning, early a.m., and she was playing with my feet. I know y'all say I was asleep, you know what I'm saying, yada, yada, yada. I ain't never had no fucking, what you call it, sleep paralysis before or after. You hear me?
That's because
do you know what sleep paralysis is, bro?
But I know exactly what sleep paralysis is, and I wasn't experiencing that because I didn't have no problem of moving, no problem with my limbs, no problem with my mobility of my body. What I'm saying is, I got immediately up. I'm conscious enough to like ignore it the first time. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so, let me tell you.
Wait, Look, let me finish. I promise I'm about to be finished. I ignored it. Like, I know I ain't crazy. I'm talking about like real nigga thoughts. I'm laying on the floor with real nigga thoughts. I'm saying, damn, I ain't crazy. And let me lay back down. Let me just go back to sleep, try to ignore it, and mess with my feet again. I gave it like 2 or 3 chances before I got up and turned the light on. You know what I'm saying? You already know it take a lot to make a nigga get up and turn the light on just to check on some shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I did.
Yo, I told you.
Quit, I'm almost finished, bro. I'm almost finished. Look, I checked. Oh shit, ain't nothing down here. Look, even that thought came, nigga. You must be tripping. You sleepy, nigga. Lay your ass back down. I laid back down. But an hour later, same shit woke me up again. You know what I'm saying? After that second time, it was hard to go back to sleep. And before I knew it, my mom's called me. And she told me, man, your grandmama passed last night. Nigga, bruh, it's easy for a spiritual motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But look, y'all, like
it's easy to believe something for a spiritual person. I agree.
Right. Look, right. I know. I already know. I got friends. Look, bruh, I've had hours.
It's a fallacy.
Kweli.
Let me. I want to interrupt you right quick.
Hours of conversation.
Yeah. We got to end the show, man. Because we are actually in overtime.
I love y'all. Hey, look. Hey, I love y'all. I'm done.
I want to share something with you before you go though. It ain't gonna take but like 60 seconds though, because it's crazy. It's almost like uncanny. Or since you don't believe in coincidence, you in the coincidence right now. Because like I told you, I experienced sleep paralysis myself, bro. And everything that you telling me right now, is consistent with sleep paralysis. And not only that, I've had a very similar experience not long ago, but probably like a year ago now. Like last summer, I was asleep in my bed, and I woke up and I thought I saw what looked to me like a mine, right? So mind you, at this point in time, I've studied sleep paralysis. So the first time it happened to me scared the shit out of me. This time, it scared me at first, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I know about sleep paralysis. At least I'm aware of it. But I see a fucking mine, and guess what it's doing? Playing with my feet. But it's not touching my feet. It's just like dingling his fingers like right over my toes. It's weird as fuck, but this is what I saw, dog. Just like you saying you saw it and it was real. This shit was there. It was so fucking real. I saw this thing had a white face, black, everything else. And it was like doing something weird over my feet. So in my, I don't know what I was thinking, but my first reaction was to try to grab this motherfucker. And I said, who are you and where did you come from? Because I was thinking like, okay, this is like some interdimensional being or something, because I'm looking at this thing in my fucking room like it's there. It ain't no hallucination to me at this point. And I try to grab it, and as my hands connect to where it is, to where I should have grabbed it, it just disappeared, like poof. And I'm like, what the fuck?
And you know that's basically called psychosomatics. If you ever heard of psychosomatics, do this real quick, Major. Look at the TV screen for maybe about 10, 20 seconds, and then look away. You'll still see the image. Right?
I know the explanation now, though. See, when it happened, it was just weird. See, I had already studied sleep paralysis, so I knew that it was an explanation for it, but I didn't know what it was. But I told it to a friend of mine who would have like weird conversations about stuff like this, and she believed in stuff and I don't. So I would tell her like, look, just like I'm telling you, I had the same experience, but I don't believe that shit. Like I had the same weird experience you had, but I don't believe in ghosts and spirits. Hold on, because I'm not done. I'm almost done. But now, furthermore, like when I was in my bed again, like months and months later, I woke up in the middle of my sleep and I happened to look out the window, and the way that the light was coming in the window just happened to make it look like a figure. But this time I wasn't asleep, so I could see that it was just the shadowy thing looking like a figure. But in the middle of your sleep, when you still in between that dream and sleep state, it's hard to differentiate between a shadowy figure and a real thing, because your brain is like still in a different wavelength. So I'm telling you,
look. Danielle Ward 77 said a lot of people with paralysis have demons playing with their feet.
Bro, yes, it's common. That's what I wanted to say. It's a common thing in sleep paralysis for people to mess with your feet. That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. That shit is common as fuck.
I've never once again, I can accept that. Y'all just can't accept the fact that I've never experienced that before. I've never experienced. Well, let me finish. I've never experienced it before, And
All right, I get that part, but what you got to get is this 7 billion people. When we say it's common, we don't mean it's common like it's gonna happen to you all the time. It's rare for a single person, just like it's rare for a single person to hit the lottery. But guess what? Somebody hit the lottery all the time. Like somebody win. That's why I keep changing the amount. If nobody won, it would just keep going up. Somebody going to hit the lottery, but for you to win is very, very unlikely. So for you to have sleep paralysis, you probably only have it once or twice. But for somebody to have sleep paralysis, somebody gonna have it every fucking day because it's a common thing, and it's a common thing. You can Google it right now. Ghost playing with my feet. What does it mean?
Y'all can't y'all can't escape this as atheists. Y'all can't escape the fact that there may not be a God as we've been told, and I can agree to that, bro. But y'all can't escape the spiritual realm, bro. At the end of the day. And like I said, y'all may not agree with me right now. It's cool. It's all good. Y'all gonna see it when y'all older in age. The spiritual world is real. I digress.
How old are you? I'm 37.
I'm born in 84. I'm your generation, my nigga.
I'm born in 80. Yeah.
And
So
I got an old
I had
ass
sleep paralysis several times.
I got an old ass soul, bro. And I'm 30. I'm 36. I turned 37 this year. But bro, I'm 75, maybe older than that in spirit, and that's all good. I'm just letting you know. I got older folk that recognize my old soul. You know what I'm saying? I talk and I conversate, I socialize with a lot of older folk. You know what I'm saying? I've never been comfortable hanging around.
Let me bring some of you ever heard of it's this machine called the Ion. It's like a foot bath. It's called the Ion. It's called the feet Iona, right? So everything goes through your feet. Like if you put potatoes, like slice some potatoes and tape them to your feet, and you'll wake up and the potatoes will be black. Everything that goes through your pores exit through your feet. So that has a lot to do with that too. What your body natural chemical functions are doing is releasing a lot of things to where it feels like it's coming, like something's playing with your feet, but it's your body releasing a lot of toxins.
I agree.
So it's your everything releases through your feet. That's why when you walk in, you can take your shoes off. That's why they say take care of your feet because that's the most important thing. It supports your weight. Your feet go through a lot.
You said a lot, but you miss one thing about when you're talking about the feet. They also call that the soul. The soul. You hear me? The bottom.
I can agree with that.
Walk with me. Walk with me, Kwame. You know what I'm saying? Walk with me. The bottom of your feet is the soul as well. Why they call it the soul? They could have called the bottom anything else. They could have called it anything else. Why do you think they call it the soul, Kwame?
But it's a soul, S-O-L though. It's not S-U-L.
Look, English language is the biggest magic trick on us. It's the same fucking word, bruh. It's the same word. If it sounds the same, it's the same word. That's why that's why I brought it up. It's called y'all know the word. What's the word? It's called
the solar. You got the solar system.
No, the words.
You talking about word magic, the gospels, all that?
No, etymology.
According to the etymology, the soul means bottom. That's why it's called that.
So, but
the bottom of your foot.
But at the end of the day, the soul
or person, it means person.
The soul, we know S-O-U-L. You know what I'm saying? It has a direct significance.
I can't let you do that, bro, because that's something that flat earthers like to do when they play with the words. But English language derived from the. Hold on, bro.
You brought up flat earth right now. That's fucked up, bro.
Hold on, I'm just making a point. This is something that people who believe in the flat earth tend to do. They like to play these word games, and I don't like the word games because it's just simply not true, and I don't want to confuse nobody. Hold on, bro. I don't want to confuse nobody because people hear that shit and they be believing in that bullshit. So I don't want to get nobody off on the wrong track. This is a channel that focuses on truth. That's why my name is Kweli. It means truth. So all that stuff about this word mean that's not true. I'm not trying to come at you, bro. I'm just saying this is not. Hold on, bro. I can't let you go that far. This is not true. The English language.
Major, chill out, please chill out.
The English language is derived from other languages, mainly Latin. So when people try to play these word games like this sound like that word and all that stuff, it don't mean a damn thing, because the reason why the word is that word is because it was that word in Latin first. Latin. So what you got to do is look up the Latin language and find out why these words. So what soul means in Latin, that's what you got to look for. So the soul came from solum. That's why the bottom of your foot is called the soul, and we say solar for solar power, because we get our language from another fucking language, because it's English and it's derived from Latin. So solum meant bottom, soul meant sun. So we use the same sound, soul, to mean solar from the sun, and soul, the bottom of your foot, from solum, because they derive from two different words that sound the same. It ain't got nothing to do with this word is that word, so I'm gonna say this mean that. That's Brother Sanchez teaching you that bullshit, man. And I can't let you do it on my channel, bro. I'm sorry. I fuck with what you're saying, but when you get the floor, you can do all that. But like on our show, you cannot give out that pseudo.
I've been waiting on Brother Sanchez ass. I've been waiting on. You need to call Brother Sanchez and come over here. Because he kicked me off his show when I asked him simply, was you a pilot? He got mad. Because he talking about he was in the Air Force. I said, so you wasn't a pilot? And he kicked me off the show. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
you must have struck a nerve.
Yeah. But but you know what, Major, man? I got to end the show, man, because we are in an hour and a half overtime. So peace and black power to the people. Anybody got any comments, questions, and concerns? Put them in the comments box. Kweli, you got anything?
Nah, man. I ain't got nothing. Just check back with us later on this week. You know what I'm saying? I'll holler at y'all. And Major, whenever you want to come on, if you want to do that on Sunday, go to my website and send me an email. It's right up there. As soon as you go to the website, it's a big button that say email, and just let me know when you're ready, and I'll open up the platform for you. But yeah, it is late, man.
We'll do that for you Sunday, man. Yeah, we'll do that for you Sunday, man. Most definitely. Babe, you got anything you want to say? They can't hear you, babe. Oh, she I don't know if y'all heard her, but she said everybody good night.
Okay, good night.
She said everybody say good night. You hear her? Yeah. Okay. All right, man. It was good having everybody on, man, including my old lady, man. Kweli, it's always been a pleasure, man. Thank you for letting me come on your platform. I'm glad to be your big bro. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of fun. Fuck that dude, that unicorn motherfucker, but biblical prophecy, I got more respect for you.
Yeah, man. It ain't nothing, man. You wasn't letting me speak, and you was starting to get in a little pseudo, and I can't let you get pseudo on here and overtalk me if you're gonna be pseudo. You know what I mean? So
exactly. We were mad pseudo, bro. We were mad pseudo. Hey, you more than welcome to call back in, bro, but don't come in with that disrespect, man. My woman don't like black. I mean, not black, but white boys. So you out of luck.
You don't like white meat.
White meat, that worm. All right, man. Peace and black power, man. I love y'all, man. Tune in to another. I'm gonna get back to the Bible comedy on Tuesday. We in episode 4. I'm gonna get back on that shit next week. Be checking us out. Major's gonna be on this Sunday, hopefully. Then we'll go from there. So peace and black power, people. Love y'all. Have a good night.